Chapter 1329. Swoosh. Swoosh. Xian Wang led Yi Liangchen, Feng Ya, and Yin Tiansong and flew towards the distance quickly. Ling Xiao, on the other hand, sat down cross-legged and looked at the void behind him calmly. Come out. You followed me from the ancient city all the way here. Your target is me, right? Ling Xiao said in a clear voice. His voice exploded in the void like thunder. The void in front of him was very calm. However, as a bright light flashed, 3 figures appeared and landed in front of Ling Xiao. Long Out Yin, you can actually find the traces of the 3 of us? However, you're just a middle-stage true god. Where did you get the confidence to face the 3 of us? Lu Yangfeng looked at Ling Xiao indifferently. Ling Xiao, Xian Wang, and the others split up, while he stayed behind. His words gave Lu Yangfeng a big fright, as he never thought that Ling Xiao would actually discover her. Dazzling Gold City's city lord Lu Yangfeng? Lu Wenqing asked you to come, right? I didn't expect him to be so persistent. It seems like I'll have to teach him a lesson when I return to the college this time. Ling Xiao looked at Lu Yangfeng and said indifferently. He had already guessed that Lu Wenqing and Lu Yin had sent people to deal with him. Therefore, when he saw Lu Yangfeng, he was not surprised. You still want to return to Aries College? I'm afraid you won't have the chance anymore. A sharp light flashed in Lu Yangfeng's eyes. Then, a bright jade talisman rose from his palm. It turned into a huge magic array and enveloped the entire area. This is the Prison Circle Talisman. I know you bought the Divine Escape Talisman. However, even the Divine Escape Talisman can't break this array space. Therefore, you should give up. If you don't want to die, hand over the Black Tortoise Sage's inheritance obediently. Otherwise, no one can save you today. Lu Yangfeng stared at Ling Xiao and said, this Prison Circle Talisman was a sage talisman. He had paid a huge price to get it. It was to deal with Ling Xiao. However, what surprised him was that Ling Xiao did not resist at all. Even his expression was still very calm. Your goal is the Black Tortoise Sage's inheritance? That's right. The Black Tortoise Sage's inheritance is indeed in my hands. Ling Xiao nodded and said. Although Lu Yangfeng had already guessed it, his eyes still lit up when he heard Ling Xiao admit it. It's really in your hands. Hand it over quickly. Ling Xiao smiled faintly and said. Relax, I'll take it out. But I'm afraid that even if you live to see it, you won't live to take it away. You're courting death. Lu Yangfeng's gaze turned cold, and a murderous aura surrounded him. He said coldly, Long Out Yin, you're about to die, and you still want to play tricks? Cut the crap and hand it over. No problem, I'll show it to you now. Ling Xiao said with a smile. Whoosh. Whoosh. 3 dazzling lights appeared in front of Lu Yangfeng in an instant. They turned into 3 silver-ranked warriors that were about 10 feet tall. Their bodies were shining with silver light. They looked mighty and majestic. They were emitting a very dangerous wave. What is this? Lu Yangfeng's expression changed as a bad premonition welled up in his heart. Don't you want the inheritance of the Black Tortoise Saint? This is one of them. There are 3 silver-ranked warriors. All of them possess the battle prowess of a complete heavenly god. Do you want to give it a try? Ling Xiao smiled faintly. What? Lu Yangfeng and his 2 subordinates shuddered. Their gazes instantly became incomparably vigilant. Kill them. Ling Xiao pointed at Lu Yangfeng and his 2 subordinates and said indifferently. Boom. As soon as Ling Xiao's voice fell, the 3 silver-ranked warriors emitted a terrifying aura. Their eyes became extremely lively. The silver war spears in their hands shone brightly. They lifted them up like javelins and threw them at Lu Yangfeng and his 2 subordinates. The 3 silver-ranked warriors' aura was extremely ferocious. The silver war spears were extremely fast. With their battle prowess that was comparable to a complete heavenly god, they appeared in front of Lu Yangfeng and his 2 subordinates almost instantly. What? Lu Yangfeng's expression changed drastically. He felt a fatal killing intent. He immediately threw a punch at the silver war spears while his body moved to the side at the same time. However, his 2 subordinates were not so lucky. Although they managed to avoid being hit in their vitals, their bodies were instantly pierced through. They spat out a mouthful of blood. As the war spears were thrown, the 3 silver-ranked warriors moved as well. Although they looked very clumsy, they moved like ghosts. They grabbed the silver war spears with their hands, then injected their divine energy into them, and threw them at Ling Xiao. No! Lu Yangfeng's two subordinates' expressions changed drastically. Their eyes were filled with despair. After the silver-ranked warriors grabbed the war spears that pierced through their chests, they did not give them any time to react. They immediately pulled the spears out and pierced through their foreheads at an extremely fast speed. They were killed on the spot, and their souls were destroyed. Lu Yangfeng's soul almost left his body. His body shone brightly and turned into a golden protective shield. He took the attack of the silver war spears head-on. After that, he did not even think about it and fled into the distance. He no longer had the slightest intention of snatching the Black Tortoise Saint's inheritance from Ling Xiao. No matter how much he thought about it, he did not expect Ling Xiao to have obtained such heaven-defying puppets like the silver-ranked warriors. There were not many puppets that were comparable to a complete heavenly god, even in the 12 immortal sanctuaries. After all, the way of puppetry had long been lost. Go back, Ling Xiao said indifferently. Then his eyes flashed sharply. The Xiankuan sword in his hand shone brightly. A beautiful sword river descended from the sky and slashed directly at Lu Yangfeng. Ling Xiao had already calculated Lu Yangfeng's escape route. This time, he did not intend to let anyone live. The Xiankuan sword was a flawless holy treasure. Although Ling Xiao could only unleash the power of one attack, his divine energy would be depleted after that attack. However, this attack already had the power to threaten a divine king. This was the sword of holy path. Long Outyan, I will not let you go. I'll definitely kill you. Ah, block it for me. Lu Yangfeng's eyes were filled with incomparable madness. Suddenly, a black shield appeared in his hand. It flowed with a mysterious holy path aura and blocked in front of the Xiankuan sword. Kacha! The black shield actually withstood the attack of the Xiankuan sword. A black divine light burst out and bright runes filled the air. It directly shook the Xiankuan sword back. However, under this attack, the black shield seemed to have exhausted its energy. With a crisp cracking sound, it shattered like a spider web in an instant. Chapter 1330. Although Lu Yangfeng had blocked the attack of the Xiankuan sword unscathed, he had lost the opportunity to escape. The three silver-ranked warriors had surrounded him. Whoosh! 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 3 silver spears pierced through the void and pierced towards the 3 vital parts of Lu Yangfeng's body. They were extremely vicious. Open up! Lu Yangfeng roared angrily. A black ancient sword appeared in his hand. It was a sage-level treasure, flowing with a strong holy aura. He used the Zhou Tian sword manipulation technique. Sword chi burst out from his body and enveloped the 3 silver-ranked warriors. Clang! Clang! Boom! The 3 silver spears suddenly slashed at the ancient sword in Lu Yangfeng's hand, and a resplendent light burst out. Although Lu Yangfeng had a sage-level treasure, he still felt the blood in his body surging. His arms were numb, and he took a few steps back. His eyes were filled with horror. Lu Yangfeng, since you're here, leave your life behind. Ling Xiao said indifferently, and a trace of killing intent appeared at the corner of his mouth. Lu Yangfeng could be said to be trapped in a cocoon of his own making. The prison rune could last for at least 15 minutes. During this time, even Lu Yangfeng could not use the divine escape rune to return to the ancient city. The 3 silver-ranked warriors were not afraid of death. Soon, they had forced Lu Yangfeng into a dangerous situation. If it were not for the sage-level treasure in his hand, he would have died in the hands of the silver-ranked warriors. Ling Xiao took out the milky white crystal he had obtained and swallowed 2 drops of saint liquid. Immediately, a vast amount of energy surged into his body, and the divine power he had consumed was quickly restored. Although the sacred liquid could be used to restore one's cultivation, and it was more effective than many divine elixirs, few people would be so extravagant as to use the sacred liquid to restore their cultivation. Most people used the sacred liquid as a treasure to break through to the next realm. When Ling Xiao used the Xiankuan sword, he had almost exhausted all of his divine power. After swallowing 2 drops of sacred liquid, his divine power was instantly replenished. Slash! Ling Xiao's eyes flashed, and he used the Xiankuan sword again. Rumble! The Xiankuan sword shone resplendently as rays of sword chi intertwined with each other. A terrifying and vast Saint Qi erupted as the Xian Kuan sword soared into the sky and slashed down towards Lu Yangfeng. Ling Xiao used the mysterious Kuan sword to display the 7 styles of judgment. It turned into a blazing saber qi, like a heavenly river. No. Lu Yangfeng felt the fatal killing intent, and his eyes were filled with despair. He suddenly roared, and the terrifying divine power around him exploded, frantically trying to dodge the attack. However, regardless of whether it was the Xian Kuan sword or the 7 styles of judgment, they were not something that he could contend against. Puff. A blood-red light flashed, and Lu Yangfeng was instantly split into 2 halves by the Xian Kuan sword. Even his primordial spirit did not escape, and directly dispersed. The power of the Xian Kuan sword was incomparably terrifying. Even the prison talisman could not withstand the power of this sword and directly shattered. Speaking of which, Lu Yangfeng could be said to have been caught in a trap of his own making. If he had not used the prison talisman, he might have been able to escape with the divine escape talisman. Although he had overestimated Ling Xiao, he did not expect Ling Xiao's strength to be so terrifying. Not only did he have the Xian Kuan sword, but he also had the heaven-defying puppet of a silver-tier warrior. It's a pity that I can't use these 3 silver-tier warriors for the time being. The next time I go to the Void Temple, I might be able to find a way to replenish their energy. Ling Xiao sighed softly. This time, in order to completely eliminate Lu Yangfeng and the other 2, he directly sent out 3 silver-tier warriors. However, after this battle, the silver-tier warriors' energy cores had been depleted, and they could only return to the Void Realm to replenish their runic power. After this battle, Ling Xiao also discovered the weakness of the white-clothed warriors. The silver-tier warriors were suitable for frontal assaults. If the opponent wanted to escape, the silver-tier warriors would not be able to catch up. After Lu Yangfeng died, there was nothing left of him except for the Black Divine Sword. Black Dragon Sword? It's not a bad sword. I can still use it. Ling Xiao grabbed Lu Yangfeng's Black Divine Sword and saw the sword name engraved on it. He could not help but praise it in his heart. The Xian Kuan sword was a flawless holy treasure. With his current cultivation, he would use up all his divine power in a single attack. The Black Dragon Sword was just an ordinary saint-level treasure. Ling Xiao could use it as a weapon for self-defense. However, if Lu Wenqing and Lu Wu saw it, they would probably go crazy. After all, Ling Xiao had killed their father. If you want to die, I don't mind fulfilling your wishes. Thinking of Lu Wenqing and Lu Wu, Ling Xiao's eyes flashed with killing intent. Boom. Golden flames rose from Ling Xiao's palm. The devouring divine fire swept out and instantly burned the bodies of Lu Yangfeng and his 2 subordinates to ashes, completely destroying all traces of their corpses. Ling Xiao leaped up and rushed towards the direction of the demonic werewolves. Ling Xiao, Xian Wang, and Yi Liangchen had agreed to meet at the demonic werewolves. It was less than 20,000 miles away. After a few hours, Ling Xiao arrived at the area where the demonic werewolves were located. Sirius Mountain. This was a huge mountain. Although the demonic qi was overwhelming, the mountain was majestic and ancient trees towered into the sky. It was actually filled with vitality. After the demonic werewolves occupied this mountain, it was renamed Sirius Mountain. It was said that many people wanted to hunt down the experts of the demonic werewolves. However, all of them returned in defeat. This was also the most powerful demonic tribe within 100,000 miles. When Ling Xiao sneaked to the foot of Sirius Mountain, he contacted Xian Wang and the rest. Senior Brother Long, we just captured an expert of the demonic werewolves and interrogated him. Now the demonic werewolves are the same as the demonic tiger tribe. They are empty internally. The strongest expert of the demonic werewolves, Lang Shan, has left Sirius Mountain with his men. Now is the best time to strike. Xian Wang said to Ling Xiao. That's right. The demonic werewolves are stronger than the demonic tiger tribe. However, since their strongest expert has left, the remaining wolf pups are not a threat. However, we also heard some unexpected news. The demonic werewolves have captured a few junior sisters from the Imperial College. Big brother, should we go and rescue them? Yi Liangchen chuckled. Lang Shan is not in Sirius Mountain? This is good news. However, he and Hugun just happened to leave the tribe. I'm afraid this matter is not as simple as it seems. However, we are here for the contribution points. Since this is the case, let's just go and kill all the experts of the Serious Mountain." Ling Xiao smiled faintly as a sharp glint flashed in his eyes. As for the disciples of the Imperial College, if it was convenient, he would naturally rescue them. Chapter 1331. Whoosh. 10 black iron warriors and 3 silver warriors appeared in front of Ling Xiao. All of them were more than 10 feet tall, and looked like they were made of metal. They looked very lifelike, and each of them held a battle spear. The appearance of the black iron warriors and silver warriors gave Xian Wang, Yap Liangchen, Fengya, and Yin Tiansong a shock. These are the opportunities that I obtained in the Great Void Secret Realm. The Black Iron Warriors can unleash the combat power of the complete True God Realm, while the Silver Warriors can unleash the combat power of the complete Heavenly God Realm. With them charging for us, we will be able to kill all the demonic wolves in the shortest time possible. Ling Xiao smiled as he briefly explained the Black Iron Warriors and Silver Warriors to them. It can only be used once? That's such a waste. This is the legendary Tao of puppetry from the ancient times. Brother, why don't you give one to me? Yap Liangchen laughed shamelessly. Don't worry. Once I find out how to replenish the energy of these silver warriors, I will give each of you one. Ling Xiao smiled. He had a total of 9 silver warriors. Once he solved the problem of the energy core, he could give them to Yap Liangchen, and the rest to protect themselves. Brother, you are so generous. Let's charge in then. Those wolf cubs are dead meat. Yap Liangchen's eyes lit up as he said eagerly, "Kill." Ling Xiao's eyes flashed with killing intent as he led the charge towards Sky Wolf Mountain. Rumble. Their auras exploded. With the Black Iron Warriors and Silver Warriors paving the way, Ling Xiao and the other 4 charged up Sky Wolf Mountain. Enemy attack. A sharp voice resounded through the Celestial Wolf Mountain, following which the demonic chi churned. Numerous figures shot out from the Celestial Wolf Mountain and pounced towards Ling Xiao and the others. The experts of the demonic wolf clan were more than 3 meters tall. They had the head of a wolf and the body of a human. Their faces were very ugly, but their bodies were very strong. Their muscles were bulging and their blood was boiling. Their eyes were full of cruelty. Despicable humans. How dare you invade Sky Wolf Mountain? You are courting death. My children, kill them all and offer them to the Lord as food. The leader of the demonic wolves had the cultivation of the complete heavenly god realm. He was more than 10 feet tall and covered in golden fur. He held a huge axe in his hand, and his eyes were filled with cruelty and bloodthirsty killing intent. Rumble. He was the first to pounce on Ling Xiao and the others. The experts of the demonic wolves looked at Ling Xiao and the others as if they were looking at food. They roared and charged at them. Rumble. Under Ling Xiao's command, the 3 silver warriors charged towards the leader of the demonic wolves. The 3 silver battle spears shone brightly, as if they could penetrate everything. They directly penetrated several powerhouses of the demonic wolf clan in front of them. The terrifying power burst out and turned them into a bloody mist. Then the spears continued to stab at the leader of the demonic wolf clan. Clang! Sparks flew in all directions as the spear collided with Lang Kaishan's axe, causing a rumbling sound. The 3 silver warriors remained unaffected, while the demonic wolf clan powerhouse retreated several steps in succession. What? His eyes were filled with disbelief. The 3 silver stone golems in front of him were actually no weaker than him. Despicable human, you're courting death. He was not stupid. He could tell at a glance that the silver warriors were just puppets, and the one who was commanding them was Ling Xiao. Therefore he stomped his feet and shot up into the sky like a cannonball. He bypassed the silver warriors and smashed his huge axe at Ling Xiao. Open! Ling Xiao did not dodge when he felt the dangerous fluctuation from the leader of the demonic wolves. Instead, his eyes were filled with a strong desire to fight. He also wanted to test how his current physical body was compared to the demonic wolves. After all, the demonic wolves were only middle-level demons. There were high-level demons above them, and even the legendary saint-level demons. The black dragon's sword shone brightly. Ling Xiao activated the 7 moves of judgment with the power of the immortal war body. He rose into the air and slashed at the leader of the demonic wolves. Boom! The black dragon sword and the mountain-splitting axe collided. Ling Xiao felt an unparalleled force coming at him. His arm was slightly numb, and he could not help but take a few steps back. The leader of the demonic wolves also staggered and retreated. How is this possible? The leader of the demonic wolves widened his eyes, and his face was filled with disbelief. This human ant's aura was much weaker than his, but his physical body was so strong that it was not any weaker than his. However, before he could think further, the 3 silver warriors' battle spears had already pierced through the air at lightning speed. Bang! The leader of the demonic wolves felt the danger, and suddenly blocked behind him with his huge axe. Although he blocked the attack of the battle spears, his back was exposed in front of Ling Xiao. Boom! Ling Xiao punched out, and a golden fist mark exploded like the sun. It was unparalleled in strength, and it directly hit the back of the leader of the demonic wolves. Ling Xiao's punch was filled with the power of the immortal war body. It was extremely terrifying, and it directly sent the leader of the demonic wolves flying. He suddenly spat out a mouthful of blood. Puff! 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 At this moment, the silver battle spears in the hands of the 3 silver warriors instantly pierced through his glabella, heart, and dantian, nailing him to the ground. The most powerful person of the demonic wolves was directly killed, and the remaining demonic wolves were all terrified. They lost half of their fighting spirit in an instant. In addition, the black iron warriors and silver warriors were invincible and fearless. They killed a demonic wolf expert with a single spear strike, causing the demonic wolves experts to wail and flee in all directions. Xian Wang, Yi Liangchen, Fengya, and Yin Tianzong originally thought that there would be a big battle, but they did not expect the demonic wolves experts to be defeated so quickly. They followed behind the black iron warriors and silver warriors, constantly reaping the lives of the demonic wolves experts, and extracting the demonic crystals from their bodies. It was extremely easy for them. Hundreds of demonic wolves experts were killed just like that, and a small number of them escaped. When Ling Xiao killed his way to the top of the Sirius Mountain, he saw an ancient stone pool at the top of the mountain. Demonic chi rose from it, and it contained an extremely evil and corrosive power. In the stone pool, there was a black worm that was about 10 feet long. It had a pair of wings on its back, a hideous head and blood-red eyes. It stared at Ling Xiao, and demonic lines intertwined around its body, wrapping a man and 3 women in it. It looked like the man and 3 women would be swallowed by the black demonic worm at any time. It's actually a defective world-etching bug? Ling Xiao's eyes flashed. The Tiger Demon clan had defective world-etching bugs, and the Demonic Wolves clan also had defective world-etching bugs. Ling Xiao suddenly felt that something was wrong. Who had brought the defective world-etching bug? Chapter 1332. There was no time for Ling Xiao to ponder. The insect let out a sharp shriek, and dozens of black demonic lines shot towards him. The black demonic insect seemed to have sensed Ling Xiao's threat, and made the first move. The sharp howl contained a powerful attack of the soul, as if it wanted to pierce through Ling Xiao's forehead. The black demonic threads wanted to wrap around Ling Xiao, before devouring all of Ling Xiao's flesh and divine power. Although the black demonic insect looked like a larva, it wasn't weak at all. However, Ling Xiao was prepared for it, and had already caught a black demonic insect. Rumble! The black dragon sword in Ling Xiao's hand was incomparably sharp. He slashed down and rays of holy light filled the air, shattering the black lines. Ling Xiao stretched out his hand and grabbed the black demon bug. Like a bolt of lightning, he pinched the black demon bug and knocked it out with a few slaps. Then he suppressed the black demonic insect in the wordless heavenly tome. Ling Xiao's eyes suddenly revealed a trace of surprise. He suddenly saw that the black demonic insect from before had disappeared from the wordless heavenly tome. To be more precise, it was devoured by the divine Skyman butterfly. He didn't know when Jinsei and the divine Skyman butterfly had both woken up. Jinsei's red dress fluttered in the wind. Her complexion was beautiful and her skin was whiter than snow. However, her snow-white hair made her seem somewhat weathered. Her eyes were filled with indifference and confusion. It was as if she didn't know where she was and was casually walking around in that space. The wordless heavenly tome was a world of its own. The divine skyman butterfly emitted 9 colors of light. It looked ethereal, gorgeous, and incomparably mysterious as it floated on Jinsei's shoulder. Ling Xiao could sense a trace of the black demonic insect's aura on the divine skyman butterfly. Clearly, the black demonic insect had been eaten by the divine skyman butterfly. Moreover, the divine skyman butterfly's strength seemed to have increased as well. It actually emitted a trace of danger that made Ling Xiao feel somewhat threatened. However, Ling Xiao didn't care about the divine skyman butterfly. His gaze fell on Jinsei. Jinsei. Ling Xiao felt his heart tremble slightly. Seeing Jinsei's indifferent and unfamiliar eyes, he felt an incomparable pain in his heart. Had she lost all her memories in the end? Ling Xiao's heart was filled with apprehension. He didn't know how to face Jinsei. Is this a junior from Aries College? Thank you, junior brother, for saving us. We can't thank you enough. At this moment, a weak voice pulled Ling Xiao back from his thoughts. The black demonic lines were broken, and the black demon bug was captured by Ling Xiao. The trapped man and 3 women immediately broke free. The 3 of them were dressed in white robes, and a small sword was embroidered on their sleeves with golden thread. It was obvious that they were from the Imperial Academy. The man was tall and slender, and his face was handsome. His eyes were pure and deep, and his temperament was as gentle as jade. He was like a modest gentleman. At this moment, he bowed deeply to Ling Xiao, and his expression was very sincere. He was a late-stage heavenly god, and the 3 girls behind him were all mid-stage heavenly gods as well. They were all beautiful, but they seemed rather cold. I'm Long Outyin from Aries College. These 4 are my juniors. We didn't expect to meet you at Celestial Wolf Mountain. You don't have to be so courteous. Ling Xiao smiled at the man in white robes before introducing Xian Wang and the rest. As the 2 sides exchanged greetings, Ling Xiao also learned about the identities of the man and 3 women. The man in white robes was called Feng Chong, and the 3 women were called Ming Jing, Ming Xian, and Ming Yu. They were all disciples of the Imperial Academy. The 4 of them were also here to hunt demons, but they didn't expect to fall into the trap of the black demon bug and be trapped by the demonic lines. If Ling Xiao and the rest hadn't saved them, they wouldn't have been able to hold on for long. Junior brother Long, do you know where Lang Shan from the demonic wolf clan went? Feng Chong suddenly smiled and asked. Ling Xiao's eyes flashed. Oh, senior brother Feng, do you know? Feng Chong nodded. That's right. I heard from the demonic wolf clan that Lang Shan and Hu Gun went to the Sky Devil Valley to fight for the Demon Saint's corpse. Sky Devil Valley? Demon Saint's corpse? Ling Xiao's heart skipped a beat. He suddenly remembered the news that the burly man told him in the ancient city. It seemed like the Demon Saint's corpse really existed. That's right. It is the Demon Saint's corpse. Junior brother Long, are you interested? Why don't we work together? As long as we can get the Demon Saint's corpse, the resources we can exchange for will be enough for us to cultivate to the God King realm. Feng Chong looked at Ling Xiao expectantly. Although Long Outyin was only at the middle true god realm, Feng Chong didn't underestimate him. He could feel that Long Outyin's true battle strength wasn't any weaker than his. He was a true peerless genius. Saints were blessed by the heavens and earth, and their entire body was full of treasures. Even a strand of hair was the best refining material, not to mention the flesh, bones, and even the small worlds of the saints were supreme treasures. Senior brother Feng, have you been to the Sky Devil Valley? I heard that the Demon Saint's corpse in the Sky Devil Valley is guarded by a God King realm demonic beast. There are even demon God Kings coveting the Demon Saint's corpse. I'm afraid it won't be easy for us to get the Demon Saint's corpse, right? Ling Xiao glanced at Feng Chong and smiled. Feng Chong nodded and said, Junior brother Long is right. The Sky Devil Valley is indeed filled with danger, but aren't cultivators like us fighting against the heavens and defying the heavens? A Demon Saint's corpse is a supreme treasure. As long as we plan carefully, we still have a chance to get it. Ling Xiao thought for a while and said, I still need to think about this matter. Senior brother Feng, 3 senior sisters, you should hurry up and heal your injuries. The Demon Saint's corpse was of great importance, but it was worth the risk. If they could get their hands on a Demon Saint's corpse, Ling Xiao wouldn't be lacking in the energy of the Flowing Time Temple. A demon saint's corpse could allow Ling Xiao to cultivate in the flowing time temple for at least 100 years. What Ling Xiao lacked the most now was time. He needed to establish a firm foothold in the divine world before the 100 years were up. He needed to have enough strength to protect himself, and only then could he take the next step to protect his family and friends. The experts of the demonic wolf clan in the Celestial Wolf Mountain Range were quickly eliminated. All the demonic crystals in the bodies of the demonic wolves were dug out. The harvest this time was even greater than the one in the demonic tiger clan. After careful calculation, they had at least earned over 5,000 contribution points. They had only been in the divine devil space for a day or two, but they had already made such a huge harvest. Xianwang and the others were also very excited. Ling Xiao used the excuse of needing to go into seclusion to find a secret chamber in the demonic wolf clan, and laid down several layers of restrictions and arrays. Ling Xiao took a deep breath, and a complicated look appeared in his eyes. No matter what, it was time to face Jin Se. But did Jin Se still recognize him? P.S. We still have to work overtime tonight. There are only 3 chapters left for today. Everyone, rest early. Chapter 1333. Ling Xiao didn't let Jin Se out immediately. Instead, he entered the Void Temple, and turned the wordless heavenly book into a speck of dust. Only then did he enter the wordless heavenly book without worry. After all, there were many experts above the sage realm who were paying attention to the whereabouts of the wordless heavenly book. Ling Xiao didn't dare to casually reveal the wordless heavenly book. He felt more at ease in the Void Temple. Ever since he broke through to the divine spirit realm, although he still couldn't fully control the wordless heavenly book, he could already use some of its effects. The wordless heavenly book formed a world of its own. Jin Se's red dress fluttered in the wind. Her white hair fluttered in the wind. Her face was indifferent. A butterfly with 9 colors of light circled around her. She wandered freely in this unfamiliar world. Buzz. A light flashed in the void and Ling Xiao appeared in front of Jin Se. Jin Se, do you still recognize me? Ling Xiao looked at Jin Se with a hint of nervousness in his eyes. His heart was incomparably nervous. Jin Se stared at Ling Xiao. Her eyes were filled with confusion and indifference. After a while, she shook her head and said, I don't recognize you. Who are you? Why did you call me Jin Se? Where is this place? Why am I here? Jin Se's words were very cold. They exuded a coldness that kept people at 1,000 miles away. Ling Xiao's heart ached. Although he had expected this, he was still incomparably disappointed. Jin Se, you still don't remember me. Ling Xiao sighed and said slowly, It's a long story. Let me tell you slowly. We both came from the longevity sect of the God of War realm. 10,000 years ago. Ling Xiao's voice was very low and slow. He started from how the two of them met 10,000 years ago, all the way to how Ling Xiao found Jin Se 10,000 years later, how Jin Se was poisoned by the 7 souls dissipating soul light, and how Jin Se lost her memories and was cleansed by the supreme emotion for getting water. The current Jin Se was like a blank piece of paper. Although her cultivation hadn't changed and was still at the early divine spirit realm, she had forgotten everything. After seeing Ling Xiao, the divine skyman butterfly seemed very happy and excited. It danced around Ling Xiao. When Ling Xiao gave it the black demon bug he just obtained, the divine skyman butterfly became even happier. Ling Xiao told Jin Se everything that had happened. After listening to Ling Xiao's story, Jin Se's expression was still as cold as ever. There was a slight ripple in her eyes, but she quickly regained her composure. Jinx, I'm not lying at all. I can open up the memories of my primordial spirit, and let you check them. That way you will know everything. Ling Xiao said seriously to Jin Se. Afterwards, he opened up the sea of memories in his soul, and allowed Jin Se to search. Jin Se thought about it and shook her head. No need, I believe you. From today onwards, my name is Jin Se. But before I regain all my memories, I'm afraid I won't be able to treat you like before. I hope you can understand. Ling Xiao smiled, as happy as a child. No problem. Jin Se, you've waited for me for 10,000 years. Now let me wait for you. I'll wait until you remember everything. Now let's get to know each other again. Hello, I'm Ling Xiao. Ling Xiao smiled. Jinsei hesitated for a moment, then nodded lightly. Hello, I'm Jinsei. She had a cold personality, and the Ling Xiao in front of her was like a stranger to her. However, she also had a feeling that they had known each other before. That strange familiarity gave her a strange feeling in her heart. Ling Xiao smiled. Jinsei, how about this? When you return to the mythical space with me, I'll tell you that you're a friend of mine. You can come with me to Aries College temporarily. Then, I'll think of a way to let you join the Taishangdao Palace. All right. Jinsei nodded calmly. Ling Xiao heaved a sigh of relief. Although Jinsei had lost all her memories, it was fine as long as Jinsei was by her side. He also believed in the emperor's words. The Taishangdao scripture would definitely help Jinsei regain her memories. Ling Xiao could feel that Jinsei seemed to be in a state of absolute indifference at all times. The emperor had also said that Jinsei had the legendary Taishangdaoist body. She was a peerless genius of the Taishangdaoist palace that only appeared once every 10,000 years. She was most suited to cultivate the Taishangdaoist scripture. However, Ling Xiao still needed to think carefully about how to let Jinsei safely join the Taishangdao Palace. He had to ensure that nothing went wrong. Ling Xiao brought Jinsei out of the wordless book world and returned to the mythical space through the heart realm. The secret room Ling Xiao chose was very cheap. He did not tell Feng Chong, Xian Wang and the others. Therefore, when Ling Xiao returned from the celestial wolf mountain with a beautiful woman in a red dress and white hair, everyone was extremely surprised. Junior sister Ji, please keep this a secret. Among everyone, only Ji Feishuan recognized Jinsei. The others were very curious. Ling Xiao explained to Ji Feishuan through telepathy, and Ji Feishuan nodded tacitly. Everyone, let me introduce you. This is my friend Jinsei. She came to the mythical space with the elders of her family. However, due to some reasons, she will be working with us in the future. Ling Xiao introduced her to Feng Chong, Yi Liangchen, and the others. Good friend? Big brother, could this be sister-in-law? She is indeed a peerless beauty. She has an extraordinary temperament. Brother, you have good taste. Yi Liangchen's eyes lit up as he winked at Ling Xiao. Get lost. You talk too much. Ling Xiao glared at him and said angrily. Jinsei's face was cold. She nodded slightly at everyone without saying anything. Although everyone was very curious about the relationship between Jinsei and Ling Xiao, they knew better than to ask too much. Junior brother Long, have you thought about it? That is the corpse of the great demon saint. There might even be the inheritance of the great demon saint. It doesn't matter if we can get it or not. We can't let it fall into the hands of the demon race. Feng Chong said to Ling Xiao. All right. Senior brother Feng, I agree. Let's go to the Heavenly Devil Valley together. Ling Xiao said with a smile. His eyes shone with a bright light. When he was in the Great Void Temple, he asked Uncle Su about it. A great demon saint's corpse contained a vast amount of energy. It was enough to keep the Flowing Time Temple open for a long time. If Ling Xiao could get his hands on the great demon saint's corpse, he would have more time to cultivate. With a time acceleration of 30 times, Ling Xiao was confident that he could become a sage within 100 years. In the divine world, only those who had attained the Tao and become a sage could be considered a big shot. Otherwise, under the sage realm, even a divine king was just an ant. Chapter 1334. Ling Xiao, Feng Chong, and the others left the Celestial Wolf Mountain and headed towards the Heavenly Devil Valley. The Heavenly Devil Valley was actually a huge abyss that covered an area of tens of thousands of miles. It was shrouded in fiend god qi all year round. Not only were there all kinds of ferocious and powerful demonic beasts, but there were also many demons gathered there. Therefore, few people would come to the Heavenly Devil Valley to hunt demons. However, ever since the news of the demon saint's corpse in the Heavenly Devil Valley spread, more and more human experts came to the Heavenly Devil Valley in hopes of obtaining the demon saint's corpse and inheritance. However, the demon saint's corpse was located in the deepest part of the Heavenly Devil Valley. It was covered by an extremely powerful ancient formation and was guarded by a demonic beast. Therefore, many people only wandered around the periphery, trying to find a way to enter the ancient formation. Over the past few days, Many battles had broken out between the human and demon experts, and both sides suffered casualties. However, as the ancient formation was about to open, the experts of both races restrained themselves and prepared to fight for the demon saint's corpse. Boom! On top of a black mountain, there was a dazzling light and purple lightning lingering around it. A huge spatial gate had appeared. A figure in a purple robe walked out of the spatial gate, exuding an extremely terrifying aura. It was a young man in a purple robe. He had a slender figure and a jade-like face. There seemed to be purple lightning flashing in his eyes, making him look majestic and mysterious. There were already dozens of figures with powerful auras on top of the mountain. They were all in the true God realm and celestial God realm. They were all disciples of the Great Zhou Academy, and Wang Chong was among them. When the young man in purple robe appeared, the eyes of all the disciples revealed a hint of fanaticism as they bowed in unison. Greetings, senior brother. The young man in purple robe was the strongest of this generation of the Great Zhou Academy, Ji Yuanlong. He was in the great circle of the celestial God realm, but his aura was as vast as the ocean, far surpassing the celestial God realm. He was not much weaker than a God King realm expert. It was rumored in the Great Zhou Academy that senior brother Ji Yuanlong could have broken through to the God King realm long ago, but he had been suppressing his cultivation in order to cultivate a peerless technique. Although he was only in the great circle of the celestial God realm, he had killed more than one God King. Ji Yuanlong had already caught the eye of a saint-old ancestor of the 9 imperial gates, and he would become a direct disciple immediately after he entered the gates. Get up. How's the situation in Sky Devil Valley? Ji Yuanlong glanced at the crowd and said. Reporting to eldest senior brother, there are many experts gathered in the heavenly Devil Valley. Tiger Gun, Lang Shan, and Ingju of the Devil Clan have arrived with their experts. It is said that a saint-level Devil Clan will arrive soon. Wang Chong immediately stepped forward and respectfully reported. Saint-level demons? Very good. As long as I kill this saint-level demon, my divine firmament Dragon King transformation will be complete. Keep a close eye on the devil race. Inform me immediately if there is any news about a saint devil race. A sharp glint flashed across Ji Yuanlong's eyes as he spoke indifferently. Yes. Eldest senior brother, other than the demons, we have also found traces of the Heroes Alliance. Wang Chong was a little hesitant, but he still reported. Hero Alliance? They were just a bunch of vicious criminals. How dare they call themselves the Hero Alliance? Do you know who came from the Hero Alliance? Ji Yuanlong's eyes revealed a trace of disdain. In the divine world, there were many abandoned disciples and criminals who fled to the mythical space after being hunted down. Most of them gathered in the Hero Alliance. The various sacred grounds had sent experts to hunt down the Hero Alliance, but the Hero Alliance's base was extremely secretive. In addition, it was rumored that the leader of the Hero Alliance was a saint. Thus, the sacred grounds could not do anything to the Hero Alliance. Although the mythical space rejected saints, that saint had relied on a supreme treasure to make a name for himself in the mythical space. He had even stirred up trouble in the divine world. The saints of the various sacred grounds had set up traps several times, but he had escaped each time. It is said that the Sword Saint came from the Hero Alliance. Wang Chong replied. Sword Saint? When did the Hero Alliance have a Sword Saint? Ji Yuanlong's expression changed slightly. Could it be that this was also a saint-level expert? Even if he was only a half-saint, his true strength far surpassed that of a God King expert. However, in the mythical space, even if a saint concealed his aura, he would only be able to exert the strength of a God King at most. I'm not sure. It is said that he just joined the Hero Alliance. Although he is only a celestial god, he has already comprehended the sword of Saint Dao. His strength is extremely terrifying. He once killed a God King, and is now considered the future leader of the Hero Alliance. Wang Chong reported. A mere celestial god dares to call himself a sword saint? The Hero Alliance is indeed a bunch of lunatics. Pay attention to his whereabouts. Did the other 4 academies send anyone? Ji Yuanlong asked indifferently. I haven't found any traces of the other 4 academies yet. Wang Chong replied honestly. Very good. Disperse for now and wait for the heavenly Devil Valley to open. Ji Yuanlong's eyes flashed. He leaped up and flew toward the heavenly Devil Valley. After several days of travel, Ling Xiao and Feng Chong finally arrived at the heavenly Devil Valley. In the past few days, they had been ambushed and attacked by the demons several times. However, they had calmly dealt with them. In the end, the demons were turned into demon crystals that could be exchanged for contribution points. Ling Xiao had refined 10 drops of the sacred liquid in the milky white crystal, and his cultivation had finally broken through to late-stage true god realm. There were still 9 drops of sacred liquid left in the crystal, which was not enough for Ling Xiao to continue breaking through. He had wanted to give the sacred liquid to Jin's first, but Jin's had refused. Ling Xiao discovered that Jin's was able to extract energy from the void. Her aura was getting stronger almost every day. This peerless talent made Ling Xiao sigh in amazement. Junior brother Long, our academy's senior sister Qinglian has arrived. Feng Chong's eyes lit up with joy when he received this news. Senior sister Qinglian? Ling Xiao's eyes flashed. He had heard of Qinglian from the Imperial Academy. Qinglian was the #1 person in the Imperial Academy, the eldest senior sister of all the disciples. Her talent was unparalleled, and she was especially proficient in swordsmanship. It was rumored that she had already cultivated the Green Lotus sword force. She was a peerless sword cultivator. As soon as Feng Chong's voice fell, a green sword light came from the void in the distance. Sword chi rose, revealing a few peerless figures. They instantly landed in front of Ling Xiao and the others. The leader was a woman in a green dress. She was extremely beautiful, and her skin was whiter than snow. However, her temperament was extremely cold. She carried an ancient sword on her back, and her body exuded a sharp sword chi fluctuation. One look at her would send chills down one's spine. Her eyes were like swords, extremely sharp. Ling Xiao felt an extreme love for the sword from her. Behind her were 4 beautiful women in white robes. They also carried ancient swords on their backs. Their temperaments were ice cold. They were all late-stage heavenly gods. Chapter 1335. Greetings, great senior sister. Feng Chong hurriedly brought his 3 junior sisters to greet her. Greetings, senior sister Qinglian. Ling Xiao, Yiliangchen, and the rest also bowed to Qinglian. Although the 5 great colleges were of the same branch, Ares College and Imperial College were relatively closer to each other. As for Tyrant, Dezhou, and Heaven Sword, these 3 colleges Overlord and Tyrant belonged to the 9 Imperial Gates and were closer to each other. Are you guys from Ares College? Is Big Dipper here? Qinglian looked at Ling Xiao and the rest and asked. We didn't see Senior Big Dipper. We came by ourselves. Ling Xiao smiled. Nonsense. Qinglian said coldly. The heavenly Devil Valley is filled with demons. The demon race, the Heroes Union, and the Great Zhou College have all sent experts here. I'm afraid even the God King Realm experts will appear. Entering the heavenly Devil Valley with your cultivation is simply courting death. Now that Sky Devil Valley hasn't opened yet, you guys better go back quickly. Although Qinglian's words were tough, Ling Xiao could still hear the concern in her voice. Ling Xiao smiled and said, Senior sister Qinglian, don't worry. We can protect ourselves. The main purpose of our trip to Sky Devil Valley is to kill the demons. We won't participate in the fight for the great demon saint's corpse. That won't do. What's your name? Qinglian still wanted to say something, but when her gaze fell on Jin Se, she suddenly revealed a trace of shock. Senior sister Qinglian, she is my friend. Her name is Jin Se. Ling Xiao's eyes flashed as he replied. Jin Se? You are? Qinglian's eyes revealed a trace of excitement, but the words that were about to come out of her mouth immediately stopped. She instantly rushed over and grabbed Jin Se's arm. Under Ling Xiao's signal, Jin Se didn't resist. Qinglian's fingertip sent a strand of divine power into Jin Se's body. Her face was filled with joy. It was indeed the Supreme Taoist body. The Supreme Taoist body was the most suitable body for the Supreme Taoist Palace's martial arts. To the Supreme Taoist Palace, it was much more important than the legendary divine body or sage body. Every generation's sect master of the most Supreme Tao Palace had the most Supreme Tao body, and only those with the most Supreme Tao body could cultivate the most Supreme Tao scripture to the extreme. It was just that the Supreme Taoist body was too rare. The Supreme Taoist palace often searched the entire God realm, but it was difficult to find someone with the Supreme Taoist body. Therefore, many elders and disciples of the Taishangdao Palace had ways to search for the Taishangdao body. As long as they could find someone with the Taishangdao body, they would definitely receive extremely precious rewards. Take Qinglian for example. If she were to tell the people of the Taishang Holyji Palace about this, she would probably become a true disciple immediately. The news of the great Supreme Taoist physique was too important, so she didn't mention it at all. Feng Chong and the others looked at Qinglian curiously. They didn't know what senior sister Qinglian had discovered to make her so excited and lose her composure. Ling Zhao's heart skipped a beat. He guessed that Feng Chong had probably discovered the secret of the great Supreme Taoist physique. However, this was good news for Ling Xiao. He was originally worried about how to send Jin Sei to the Supreme Taoist Palace naturally without arousing suspicion. Now that Qinglian had discovered that Jin Sei had the Supreme Taoist physique, she would definitely think of ways to take her into the Supreme Taoist Palace. Junior sister, aren't you a disciple of the Aries College? Are you willing to join the Imperial Academy? Qinglian smiled faintly at Jin Sei. Jin Sei glanced at Ling Xiao, and Ling Xiao immediately replied, Senior sister Qinglian, Jin Sei originally wanted to enter the Imperial Academy through the Great Void Trial. But she was delayed by something, so she missed the Great Void Trial. If she could enter the Imperial Academy, she would naturally be more than willing. That's great. Junior brother Long, junior sister Jin Sei, can follow me for the next few days. I will protect her. Qinglian smiled faintly at Ling Xiao, but her voice was filled with an undeniable tone. She had already thought of a way to inform the Imperial Academy's principal, Lu Shuling. Presumably, Lu Shuling would immediately contact the Supreme Taoist Palace, and soon, there would be experts from the Supreme Taoist Palace directly descending into the mythical space. During this period, the only thing she had to do was to protect Jin Sei. Although the Great Devil Saint's corpse was important, compared to Jin Sei, it was not worth mentioning. Alright. Then I will have to trouble senior sister Qinglian. Ling Xiao smiled faintly and agreed on behalf of Jin Sei. Jin Sei looked at Ling Xiao calmly and didn't say anything. Instead, she stood beside Qinglian. Boom. At this moment, a loud sound suddenly came from the Sky Devil Valley, like the rumbling of thunder, and countless amounts of demonic qi instantly rose into the sky. The devil qi turned into a huge black vortex in the void, and many ancient and mysterious runes and characters could be vaguely seen. The Sky Devil Valley has opened, everyone charge! Someone exclaimed, and suddenly, countless powerful figures from all directions rushed into the depths of the Sky Devil Valley. Let's go and take a look. Even if we can't get the Great Devil Saint's corpse, we can't let it fall into the hands of the demonic clan. Qinglian's eyes flashed sharply, and the ancient green sword behind her back was unsheathed. Rays of sword light separated, and in an instant, Ling Xiao and the others were surrounded, and at the same time, shot into the depths of the Sky Devil Valley. In the depths of the Sky Devil Valley, endless demonic light flickered as a black altar appeared. On top of it sat an old man in a black robe. He looked very similar to a human. Other than his blue pupils and a mysterious rune between his eyebrows, he looked no different from a human. Sitting on the altar, he looked very lifelike, and his whole body exuded a powerful aura. If not for the death qi surrounding him, people would have thought that the Great Devil Saint had come back to life. That's right, this old man in a black robe was the Great Devil Saint's corpse. Below the altar, there was a huge black snake as thick as a bucket. It was hundreds of feet long, and its body was covered in black scales that shone with a cold light. There was a sarcoma on the top of its head, and its eyes were blood red and cruel. Its tongue flicked in and out of its mouth as it stared at the people in front of it. This huge black snake was the demonic beast guarding the Great Devil Saint's corpse, and it had the combat strength of a divine king. At this moment, the ancient array that enveloped them was broken, and the Great Devil Saint's corpse and the huge black snake appeared in front of them. There were 3 demonic clan experts closest to the altar. One of them had the head of a tiger, the other had the head of a wolf, and the last one had the head of an eagle. All of them were in the great circle of the heavenly god realm. and they were staring at the people in front of them. They were Hu Gun from the Tiger Demon Clan, Lang Shan from the Demonic Wolf Clan, and Ing Ju from the Shadow Devil Clan. P.S. Third update, please rest early. Chapter 1336. Demonic Qi filled the heavenly Devil Valley. Roar. A loud roar shook the void like thunder. Everyone could vaguely see the figure of a giant black snake that was over 100 feet long emerging from the shroud of demonic Qi. Its eyes were blood red, and its body was surrounded by a murderous aura. It coiled around the altar and stared at the many demon race and human race experts outside the valley. Welcome, Lord of the Sacred Clan. Hu Gun, Lang Shan, and Ing Ju knelt down at the same time. Their eyes were filled with reverence. In front of them, the void shook, and a strange spatial door opened in an instant. A powerful figure stepped out of the spatial door, exuding a monstrous demonic Qi. It was extremely evil and terrifying. It was a young man in black armor. He looked very similar to a human, but his eyes were blue, and he had long blue hair that surged like lightning. His blue eyes seemed to contain a whirlpool that could suck a person's primordial spirit into it. Is he from the Heavenly Devil Clan? Qinglian stared at the young man in black armor and said slowly, the Heavenly Devil Clan was a saint-level demon clan. They were far more powerful than low-level, mid-level, and high-level demons. Their status in the demon world was equivalent to the immortal sacred grounds in the divine world. They were extremely powerful. This young man from the Heavenly Devil Clan was equivalent to a disciple of an immortal sacred ground. Although his cultivation was only at the complete devil realm, which was equivalent to the complete heavenly god realm, his aura was extremely terrifying. Even Qinglian felt a strong sense of danger. It's really lively here. Are the people from the Hero Alliance, Grand Supreme Academy, and Great Zhou Academy all here? Since you're here, leave your lives behind. The young man from the Heavenly Devil Clan glanced at the people from the Hero Alliance, Ji Yuanlong, and Qinglian. His expression was indifferent as he looked down at the crowd. Arrogant. So what if he's from the Heavenly Devil Clan? These demon bastards must be tired of living. Ji Yuanlong and Qinglian are both here. Let's kill all of these demon bastards today. Hehe, the great demon saint's corpse is ours. The lives of these demon bastards are also ours. Many human race experts were filled with righteous indignation as they cursed at the Heavenly Fiend Clan youth. There were only a few dozen devil race experts here, and the strongest were the Heavenly Devil race youth, Hu Gun, Lang Shan, and Ing Ju. However, there were over 1,000 human race experts, and among them were supreme experts like Ji Yuanlong and Qinglian. You're courting death. Murderous intent flashed in the eyes of the Heavenly Fiend race youth. Instantly, 7-colored divine light shot out from his eyes. It turned into several terrifying rays of light, and shot into the glabella of the few humans who had just spoken. Rumble. It was as if the 7-colored divine spear had pierced through their foreheads. Their foreheads were shattered, and blood filled the air. Even their primordial spirits screamed as they were enveloped by the 7-colored divine light. They were instantly reduced to nothingness. This is the 7 souls dispersing light. Ling Zhao's body trembled, and his gaze instantly became extremely sharp. The 7-soul dispersal light was one of the most powerful abilities of the Sky Fiend clan. If it wasn't for the Sky Fiend clan, Jinsei wouldn't have ended up in this state. Seeing the Sky Fiend clan's youth torturing the human race so unscrupulously, a trace of burning killing intent arose in Ling Zhao's heart. Junior brother Long also recognizes the 7 souls dispersing light. The 7 souls dispersing light is the innate divine powers of the Heavenly Fiend race. It is extremely vicious. It directly attacks the primordial spirit and disperses the soul. Everyone must be careful. Qinglian looked at Ling Xiao in surprise before instructing the rest of the group. Jinsei also looked at the Heavenly Fiend race youth with a strange look in her eyes. Junior sister Qinglian, this guy from the Heavenly Fiend race is too arrogant. How about we get rid of them first, and then we will think about fighting for the great demon saint's corpse. Ji Yuanlong suddenly transmitted his voice to Qinglian. All right. Qinglian thought for a moment and agreed. Ants of the human race, if you are not afraid of death, then come in. After the heavenly fiend race youth killed a few humans with the 7 souls dispersing light, he sneered and led Hu Gun, Langshan, Ingju, and the others directly into the heavenly fiend valley. Boom. The heavenly fiend valley was filled with dense demonic chi. Although the giant black snake looked extremely ferocious, it did not attack the heavenly fiend race youth and the others. The heavenly fiend race youth muttered something, and black runes flew out from his body. Then the glabella of the giant black snake lit up, and a golden rune on it became dazzling. The giant black snake actually allowed the heavenly fiend race youth to stand on its head. No one had expected such a change. The heavenly fiend race youth could actually control the giant black snake? Could the great demon saint be the great demon saint of the heavenly fiend race? After thinking of a certain possibility, the expressions of the human race experts suddenly changed. Junior sister Qinglian, the situation has changed. Let's attack together. We must not let the heavenly fiend race obtain the great demon saint's corpse. Ji Yuanlong's eyes revealed a trace of cold killing intent. Boom. Ji Yuanlong's palm shone brightly, and in an instant, a purple gold long spear appeared. It was surrounded by purple lightning, and contained an incomparably sharp light. Ji Yuanlong suddenly threw the purple gold long spear into the heavenly fiend valley. Immediately, it turned into a long purple rainbow and shot towards the giant black snake. At the same time, Ji Yuanlong also rushed forward and slapped his palm towards the heavenly fiend race youth. Kill! Qinglian's eyes were cold. The ancient sword behind her was unsheathed, and like a cold light illuminating the void, it instantly split into billions of sword chi and shot towards the heavenly fiend valley. Qinglian's clothes fluttered, and the sword aura around her surged, causing the void to shake violently. It was incomparably vast and pure. Under the leadership of Ji Yuanlong and Qinglian, many human race experts rushed towards the heavenly fiend valley. Stop them! We must not let them affect the sacred clan lord's plan. Hu Gun sneered, and his eyes were filled with cruel killing intent. Demonic light rose around his body, and his blood chi surged. He, Langshan, and Ingju all exploded with the strongest fighting spirit. They led the elite experts of the 3 clans and charged towards the human race experts. Rumble! A great battle was about to break out. Ji Yuanlong's purple gold long spear shone brightly, and a layer of purple sacred light flowed around it. This was also a half-saint treasure, and under Ji Yuanlong's control, it had the power to threaten the Divine King realm experts. Roar! The giant black snake's eyes were blood-red, and suddenly, a loud roar erupted from its mouth. It shook the void in all directions, and like a storm, it rushed towards the crowd. At the same time, its huge snake tail whipped towards the purple gold long spear like a black lightning bolt. The sound of metal colliding rang out, and the purple gold long spear was instantly sent flying back. Chapter 1337. You overestimate yourself. The young man from the Sky Devil clan sneered, and clasped his palms together. Boom! Between his palms, a black divine light suddenly erupted. It was like a huge sky curtain that shrouded the area in front of him. Wang! Ji Yuanlong's expression changed slightly. His purplish gold spear was invincible, but when it pierced the light screen, it seemed to be blocked by an invisible barrier. Moreover, an unparalleled divine power erupted, and his entire body was instantly repelled. Qinglian's billions of sword chi were also blocked by the black screen and dissipated into nothingness. The young man from the Sky Devil clan actually blocked Ji Yuanlong and Qinglian's attacks at the same time. His powerful strength was evident. Stop them! The young man from the Sky Devil clan said indifferently to the black snake, Hu Gun, Langshan, and Ingju. Then he turned into a ray of light and flew towards the altar. Damn it! Ji Yuanlong's expression was ugly. He never thought that the young man from the Sky Devil clan would be able to control the demonic beasts guarding the great demon saint's corpse. A divine king demonic beast was enough to pose a great threat to Ji Yuanlong and Qinglian. Not to mention the 3 great demon clan experts who were comparable to great circle heavenly gods. Boom! Ji Yuanlong held his purplish gold spear and rushed towards the depths of the Sky Devil Valley. However, the black snake had its eyes fixed on Ji Yuanlong. Demonic chi filled the sky as it spat out a black demonic ball from its mouth and shot towards Ji Yuanlong. Boom! The void trembled violently as the black demonic ball exploded. Ji Yuanlong was enveloped in endless demonic light as streams of fiend god chi rushed into his body. Crackle! Although the black snake was a divine king, it was not as if Ji Yuanlong had not killed a divine king before. The black snake had completely enraged him, causing him to erupt with all his combat strength. Ji Yuanlong wasn't afraid of the giant black snake, but the heavenly devil race's young man was already flying towards the devil saint's corpse. If this continued, the devil saint's corpse would fall into the hands of the heavenly devil race's young man. How could he not be anxious? Crack! Purple divine light surged around him. The purple gold spear seemed to have turned into a purple gold divine dragon at this moment. Endless lightning surrounded it as it pounced toward the giant black snake. Ji Yuanlong, on the other hand, suddenly moved and lunged at the heavenly fiend youth on the altar. Where do you think you're going? Tiger Gun let out a furious roar as a tiger's roar erupted from his mouth. At the same time, the two mountain-splitting axes in his hands chopped down at Ji Yuanlong. Get out of my way! Ji Yuanlong's eyes were filled with murderous intent. He punched out, and his fist landed directly on the mountain-splitting axe. A terrifying divine power exploded, causing Hu Gun's body to tremble. He's tough, let's go together. Hu Gun roared. Immediately Lang Shan and Ning Ju charged towards Ji Yuanlong. Clang! Sword chi surged. Qinglian wielded her ancient sword and instantly killed a few demon experts. However, the giant black snake was extremely powerful. It quickly struck down the purple gold divine dragon that Ji Yuanlong had transformed into and pounced towards Qinglian. Although the number of demons was small, under the leadership of the giant black snake, Tiger Gun, Lang Shan, and Ning Ju, many human experts were forcefully blocked outside, unable to advance even an inch. Senior Brother Long, what should we do? Xian Wang and the others looked at Ling Xiao and asked. Of course we'll kill the demons. These are all contribution points. You guys be careful and protect Jin Se. I'll go and see if there's a way to snatch the great devil saint's body. Ling Zhao's eyes flashed as he said to Xian Wang and the others. Whoosh! He retracted his aura and sneaked into the heavenly devil valley. Now that the giant black snake, Hu Gun, Lang Shan, and Ning Ju had been stopped by Ji Yuanlong and Qinglian, the other demon race warriors were no threat to Ling Xiao. Furthermore, he had 3 silver-ranked warriors with him. If they were caught off guard, they would definitely be able to produce a miraculous effect. As more and more human experts rushed into the valley, Ling Zhao's cultivation was only at the late true immortal realm. He did not attract any attention at all. Hence, he smoothly approached the altar. Ling Xiao suddenly realized that the young man from the heavenly devil race did not leave after snatching the great devil saint's body. Instead, he sat down on the altar with his legs crossed. Boom! As he cut his arm, streams of black blood flowed out and was smeared on the altar. Then he drew mysterious runes on the altar. The great devil saint's body buzzed and trembled. In an instant, an incomparably terrifying aura burst out from it. At this moment, the entire altar underwent a strange change. As if some mysterious power had awakened, the altar exploded with brilliant light. In an instant, a layer of black mist gushed out and covered the entire area. An evil, ancient, and mysterious aura spread out. It emitted waves that made one's primordial spirit tremble. Bang! 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 It was like a beating heart or the beating of a drum. A mysterious rhythm surged in everyone's heart. It even made them feel as if their blood was boiling. It was as if their entire body was about to combust. Black light lingered on the altar. A black demonic bug flew out and floated on the altar. It emitted an ancient and terrifying wave. The black demonic bug had 4 pairs of wings and 8 wings on its back. It was only a foot long. Its head was ferocious, and it had sharp fangs. Its eyes were blood red. When the young man from the heavenly devil race saw the black demonic bug, his eyes were filled with excitement. It really is the world-etching bug. The old ancestor has suppressed it here for thousands of years. Now it has finally become a great fortune for me. The young man from the heavenly devil race muttered to himself. His breathing became rapid. Buzz. He formed a seal with both hands. Runes floated up from the altar and imprinted on the world-etching bug. At the same time, the great devil saint's corpse began to emit powerful saint aura that suppressed the world-etching bug. The world-etching bug trembled slightly. Although it was resisting, it was more afraid. It could only allow the black runes to drill into its body. So his target wasn't the great devil saint's corpse. It was the world-etching bug. Ling Xiao's body trembled. A look of understanding appeared in his eyes. No wonder there was a great devil saint's corpse and an altar here. It was all prepared for the world-etching bug. Of course, this black demonic bug couldn't be called a world-etching bug, because a complete world-etching bug would have 12 wings on its back. It could corrode thousands of worlds and was extremely powerful. However, this black demonic bug was different from the defective ones Ling Xiao had encountered before. It had the potential to become a complete world-etching bug. As long as it grew 4 more wings, it would become a true world-etching bug. Chapter 1338. Ji Yuanlong and Qinglian finally felt that something was amiss. They thought that the young man from the Sky Fiend race would snatch the demon saint's corpse, but they did not expect a world-etching insect to appear on the altar. The young man from the Sky Fiend race's real target was the world-etching insect. Thank you for your blessings, ancestor. I, Boji, will inherit your legacy and cultivate the real world-etching insect. The young man from the Sky Fiend race kowtowed respectfully to the demon saint's corpse. Damn it, get out of my way. Ji Yuanlong's eyes were filled with killing intent, and his face was ugly. He felt that he had been tricked. Not only did he fail to snatch the demon saint's corpse, he even let Boji obtain the world-etching insect. He instantly felt that something was wrong. When Wang Chong, Feng Chong, and the others saw the world-etching insect, their eyes were filled with fear. Back in the Tiger Demon Clan and Celestial Wolf Mountain, a mere 2-winged defective was enough to put them in danger, making them wish they were dead. So how terrifying was this world-eclipsing insect before them? Boom! The purple gold spear in Ji Yuanlong's hand exploded with terrifying divine power. Streaks of purple lightning swept across the area and swept Hu Gun, Lang Shan, and Yingju away. They were about to attack Boji, who was on the altar. Don't overestimate yourself. In order to welcome the arrival of my world-etching insect, you should be honored to become its food. Buoxuan sneered as a strange light flashed in his eyes. Boom! The world-etching insect's body trembled slightly as its 8 wings flapped in the air. In an instant, a terrifying demonic aura exploded. At the same time, it let out a sharp and terrifying cry. Uft, uft, uft. The terrifying sound wave swept out in all directions. It contained a power fluctuation that could destroy one's soul. The glabella of some of the weaker cultivators instantly exploded. Their primordial spirits were directly reduced to nothingness. They were directly killed by the sound wave. Even Yi Liangchen, Fengya Yin Tianzong, and the others felt a sharp pain in their glabella. If King Xian had not protected them in time, they would have been severely injured. What a terrifying world-etching insect. Damn it, its cry is so unpleasant. Yi Liangchen opened his eyes wide as he stared at the world-etching insect and Boji on the altar. Whoosh! Whoosh! At that moment, the world-eclipsing bug spat out thousands of black lines from its mouth. The black lines intertwined and intertwined, forming a huge net that enveloped the entire Sky Devil Valley. In an instant, the fiendish chi of the demonic god exploded out. Furthermore, an extremely powerful corrosive power enveloped the crowd. Everyone was horrified to find that the divine power in their bodies was rapidly draining away, as if some mysterious power was eroding their bodies. Even Ji Yuanlong and Qinglian couldn't help but change their expressions, because they also felt the energy in their bodies rapidly depleting. Open! Ji Yuanlong angrily roared. The violet gold divine spear in his hand turned into a 10,000 zhang long divine dragon, and soared into the sky, wanting to break through the black net. However, the moment the purple gold divine dragon came into contact with the giant black net, it was instantly annihilated and turned back into a purple gold divine spear, which flew back into Ji Yuanlong's hand. Clang! Green Lotus was also surrounded by sword intent. Her ancient sword soared into the sky, trying to break through the giant black net, but she failed in the end. It's useless. In this inescapable net, there is only one outcome for all of you, and that is death. Boji looked indifferently at the human race experts and said, in just a moment, a few more human race experts were invaded by the fiendish chi of the demonic god, and exploded to death. Under Bo Sun's command, the black giant snake, Tiger Gun, Lang Shan, Eagle Ju, and the other demon race experts charged toward Ji Yuanlong and Qinglian. For a moment, the human race experts were in danger. Ling Xiao stood near the altar, surrounded by fierce battles. He stared at Bo Sun and the world-eclipsing bug on the altar with a strange look in his eyes. He still had 3 silver warriors. If he was caught off guard and attacked together, it would be enough to make Boji panic and even force him to retreat. As long as Boji was forced to retreat, Ling Xiao would naturally be able to obtain the Great Devil Saint's body. However, the most important thing was how to deal with the world-eclipsing bug. Ling Xiao felt that the world-eclipsing bug was extremely dangerous. It was incomparable to the defective ones. If he couldn't deal with the world-eclipsing bug, he would be in danger under the combined attacks of the world-eclipsing bug and Boji. Buzz. However, just as Ling Xiao was pondering, a 9-colored light suddenly appeared on the altar. It was so fast that even Boji couldn't react in time. It was a butterfly with 9-colored light flowing around it. Its wings were as thin as silk and looked extremely beautiful. It emitted a mysterious fluctuation as it charged toward the world-eclipsing bug. It was the divine sky-patching butterfly. Ling Xiao was slightly stunned. He didn't expect the divine sky-patching butterfly to charge toward the world-eclipsing bug at this moment. Moreover, the two of them instantly engaged in a fierce battle. The world-eclipsing bug let out an extremely sharp cry with a hint of fear. After all, it was only a defective world-eclipsing bug. When facing the divine sky-patching butterfly, it naturally felt instinctive fear. The world-eclipsing bug suddenly spat out black demonic lines in an attempt to trap the divine sky-patching butterfly. However, the 9-colored light around the divine sky-patching butterfly was extremely mysterious. The black demonic lines immediately dissipated. The divine sky-patching butterfly flapped its wings and a 9-colored divine needle appeared in its mouth. It suddenly pierced toward the world-eclipsing bug. Boji was slightly stunned when he saw this scene on the altar. However, he immediately flew into a rage and slammed his palm toward the divine sky-patching butterfly. Although he didn't recognize the divine sky-patching butterfly, he couldn't tolerate the fact that the divine sky-patching butterfly wanted to destroy his world-eclipsing bug. Good chance. Ling Zhao's eyes flashed as he instantly soared into the sky. Unparalleled divine power erupted from his body as he punched toward the world-eclipsing bug. The 3 silver-ranked warriors instantly appeared in the void. The terrifying aura around them exploded as 3 silver spears pierced through the void and pierced toward Boji's vital points. Bastard, who are you? Buoxuan was shocked and angry. Demonic chi surged around him as a black saber appeared in his hand. He suddenly slashed toward the 3 silver-ranked warriors in front of him. Boom! The void trembled as the silver spears and the black sabers collided and exploded with resplendent light. However, because Boji had acted hastily, the silver-ranked warriors were indestructible and had divine power. They directly sent Buoxuan flying. Bang! Ling Xiao also punched the world-eclipsing bug. At the same time, a powerful devouring divine power was injected into the world-eclipsing bug's body. The world-eclipsing bug's body trembled violently. The devouring divine power was like adding oil to a fire. Instantly, an incomparably chaotic energy exploded within the world-eclipsing bug's body. Chapter 1339. Boom. The world-etching insect screamed as a strange sound wave radiated in all directions. It contained an extremely powerful primordial spirit attack. The surrounding people were caught off guard and felt dizzy as they felt a sharp pain in their glabella. After the devouring divine power entered the world-etching insect's body, it began to devour the divine power within the world-etching insect and grew stronger. The world-etching insect trembled violently as its 8 wings flapped, emitting a powerful spatial power. It instantly broke through the void and tried to dodge the divine sky-patching butterfly's attack. Buzz! The divine sky-patching butterfly was faster than it. Beams of nine-colored divine light wrapped around the world-etching insect like divine chains of order. Even the spatial power could not stop it. In an instant, the world-etching insect was entangled and pulled toward the divine sky-patching butterfly. "You're courting death." Boji was shocked and enraged when he saw this. His eyes were filled with cold, killing intent. He had spent a lot of effort to obtain this world-etching insect. As long as the world-etching insect could reach perfection in the future, it would be a great help to him. He would kill any god or devil that stood in his way. Although he did not recognize the divine sky-patching butterfly, he could feel that it was a great threat to the world-etching insect. Whoosh! 7-colored divine light flashed in Boji's eyes as it pierced through the void and shot toward the divine sky-patching butterfly. The 7-soul dispersal light was activated again. "Stop him!" Ling Zhao's eyes flashed as he ordered the 3 silver-ranked warriors to attack Boji. The silver-ranked warriors did not know pain and were fearless of death. Their bodies were invulnerable. Although they did not know any martial arts, their attacks were extremely sharp and had strong battle instincts. The 3 silver spears were aimed at Boji's vital points. Clang! Boji's eyes flashed fiercely as he chopped down with his palm and collided with the silver spears. There was a burst of bright light. Then he swept his leg and swept the 3 silver-ranked warriors away. Rumble! Boji's body exuded an ancient, mysterious, and terrifying aura. Demonic light gushed out and formed a terrifying demonic realm behind him. Endless demonic chi was attracted to him as he punched at the divine sky-patching butterfly. The punch was extremely terrifying and contained a mysterious power that could annihilate the void. Ling Zhao's eyes flashed. Clang! At this moment, a snow-white sword light was unsheathed. To be exact, it was the light of a blade. Ling Zhao used the Xiankuan sword to display the 7 styles of judgment. The Xiankuan sword was a flawless holy treasure. It contained a vast amount of holy aura. Under Ling Zhao's control, it instantly absorbed all the divine power in his body. Then, it turned into a sword radiance that split the heavens and the earth. It was as if the heavenly emperor was judging all living beings. It slashed towards Bojia. This slash was extremely fast, and Ling Zhao could be said to have reached Boji first despite making a move later. Holy treasure? A trace of shock appeared in Boji's eyes. A flawless holy treasure was extremely precious. Because his cultivation was not high enough, he only had a half-step holy treasure in his hand. However, this sword actually made him feel a strong threat. Rumble! Boji clenched his teeth and immediately activated the vast devil realm behind him. Figures of devil kings appeared as though they were surrounding him and worshipping him. His fist became increasingly dark and terrifying. Finally, it abruptly collided with the saber light. Kacha! The void trembled as the saber light and the fist print exploded. It was as if a small sun had exploded, setting off a divine light storm. Ling Zhao felt his arm go numb. The Xiankuan sword flew back and landed in his hand. It had even injured his internal organs. That was the backlash of the holy power. Even though his physical body was unparalleled, he still suffered some injuries. On the other hand, Boji was sent flying by Ling Zhao's slash. The devil light around his body dissipated, and a deep wound appeared on his fist radiance. His face was extremely ugly. If he had not used a forbidden move in his last punch, Ling Zhao's slash would have destroyed one of his limbs. "Ant, how dare you injure me? Leave the sword in your hand behind." Boji's eyes revealed a trace of cold killing intent. At the same time, he also looked at the Xiankuan sword in Ling Zhao's hand. Swoosh! Swoosh! However, at the same time, the 3 silver-tier warriors charged towards Boji without any fear of death. They surrounded Boji and kept attacking his vital parts. Boji was unable to break free from the encirclement. All he could do was to roar in anger. At this moment, the world-etching insect was completely trapped by the divine butterfly. A 9-colored divine needle emerged from the divine butterfly and pierced the world-etching insect. Chirp! The world-etching insect let out an extremely shrill cry. However, it could not move at all. The 9-colored divine needle seemed to be devouring its life essence. The world-etching insect actually began to wither at a speed visible to the naked eye. In the end, the world-etching insect turned into a pile of ashes and scattered with the wind. No! Boji's eyes instantly turned blood red. He let out a roar of unwillingness and anger. His entire body emitted a terrifying devil light. His aura also increased in an instant. He directly blasted the 3 silver-ranked warriors away. Then he slammed his palm towards the divine butterfly. Wang! The divine butterfly flapped its wings and a 9-colored mist spread around its body. Threads intertwined and formed a 9-colored cocoon around its body, enveloping it completely. When Boji's palm landed on the cocoon formed by the divine butterfly, his entire body trembled violently. Then, as if he was struck by an unparalleled divine force, he was instantly sent flying backwards. A strange fluctuation was emitted from the divine butterfly's body. There seemed to be a celestial melody floating around, mysterious and unfathomable. Is it going to evolve again? Ling Xiao's eyes flashed. Previously, the divine butterfly was only in its infant stage. Now that it had swallowed the defective world-etching insect, was it going to evolve into its adult stage? Just the divine skyman butterfly in its infancy was already so terrifying. Once it evolved again, just how strong would it be? Ling Xiao's heart was filled with anticipation. Rumble! As the world-etching insect was swallowed by the divine butterfly, the black net that originally enveloped Sky Devil Valley completely dissipated. The suppressive threat in everyone's hearts disappeared. Everyone couldn't help but feel relieved. Whoosh! Ji Yuanlong's eyes flashed with a sharp light. The purple gold spear in his hand repelled Hu Gun, Lang Shan, and Ying Ju, who were charging towards him. He turned into a bolt of purple lightning and shot towards the altar in an instant. After the world-etching insect died, the Devil Saint's corpse finally became an ownerless object. Ji Yuanlong wanted to snatch the Devil Saint's corpse first. Chapter 1340. A light flashed in Ling Xiao's palm as he kept the Demon Saint's corpse into the wordless heavenly book. The Demon Saint's corpse contained the power of the Holy Path. Normal divine weapons and half-step holy treasures were unable to contain the Demon Saint's corpse. Only complete holy treasures could. Only the wordless heavenly book could contain the Demon Saint's corpse. Everyone's target was the Demon Saint's corpse. Only by keeping the Demon Saint's corpse would they be safe. Hand over the Demon Saint's corpse. When Ji Yuanlong saw that a mere late True God Realm brat had actually kept the Devil Saint's corpse, his face turned cold and he shouted angrily. At the same time, he was extremely shocked. To be able to keep the Demon Saint's corpse meant that this kid from Ares College must have a complete spatial holy treasure on him. One had to know that the Xiankuan sword in Ling Xiao's hand had already attracted the attention of countless people. In addition, he had a spatial holy treasure on him. This meant that this kid had 2 complete holy treasures on him. Even Ji Yuanlong's eyes revealed a trace of greed. I was the one who obtained the Demon Saint's corpse. I'm afraid the senior brother is too late. Ling Xiao's eyes flashed as he said calmly. Junior brother, the Demon Saint's corpse is not something you can take away. Hand it over to me. Whether it's God stones or God crystals, I can satisfy you. Ji Yuanlong's eyes were cold as he stared at Ling Xiao. I'm sorry, but there's no reason for me to hand over something that's already in my hands. Senior brother, if I hadn't gotten rid of the world-etching bugs, I'm afraid you would still be trapped in the black net. Aren't you repaying kindness with enmity by doing this? Ling Xiao said indifferently. His expression was extremely calm. You think you can get rid of the world-etching bugs? You overestimate yourself. Since you don't know how to appreciate kindness, don't blame me for being impolite. Ji Yuanlong's eyes flashed with killing intent as he slammed his palm down on Ling Xiao. You despicable humans. You killed my world-etching bugs. You all have to die. Boji's eyes were spitting fire, filled with intense killing intent. He hated Ling Xiao to the extreme. If it weren't for Ling Xiao and the divine butterfly, his world-etching bugs wouldn't have died. He suddenly exploded with an unparalleled demonic light, causing the 3 silver-tier warriors to retreat. Then he summoned the black giant snake to attack the 3 silver-tier warriors while he himself charged towards Ling Xiao. Ji Yuanlong wanted to snatch the Demon Saint's corpse, and Bo Jie wanted to kill Ling Xiao. The 2 experts of the human race and the demon race actually attacked Ling Xiao at the same time. Ling Xiao was about to fall into a dangerous situation. When Qinglian saw this scene, her gaze immediately turned cold. she shouted at Ji Yuanlong. Ji Yuanlong, dealing with the devil race is more important. Could it be that you want your loved ones to suffer and your enemies to be happy? At this moment, she was being blocked by Hu Gun, Lang Shan and Ying Ju. Although her battle prowess was extremely strong, and she had already suppressed these three great demon clan experts, she was still unable to break free. Green Lotus' voice reverberated in the void, but Ji Yuanlong acted as if he hadn't heard anything. Rumble. A sharp light flashed in Ling Zhao's eyes. He instantly swallowed the 2 drops of saint liquid in his mouth. The majestic divine energy that was originally depleted was once again replenished. The Xian Kuan sword once again became dazzling, and a powerful saint path sword intent erupted. Streaks of black divine light surged violently, and a black ocean seemed to appear behind Ling Xiao. The Xian Kuan sword soared into the sky, and with a monstrous wave, it slashed towards Ji Yuanlong and Bo Jia. Kill. Ji Yuanlong's gaze was gloomy. The purple gold divine spear in his hand pierced through the void, and streaks of purple lightning exploded in the void, colliding with the Xian Kuan sword in front of him. Rumble. The blazing light was dazzling. This strike of the Xian Kuan sword was incomparably terrifying. Although Ji Yuanlong and Bo Jia both exploded with extremely powerful strength, they were still repelled by this strike. Ling Zhao's eyes revealed a trace of helplessness. It was a pity that his cultivation base was still a little weak, and he could only rely on the power of the Xian Kuan sword. However, the Xian Kuan sword consumed too much saint liquid. If this continued, he was afraid that after a few more strikes, he would use up all the saint liquid he had obtained. No, I have to leave now. Ling Zhao's eyes flashed. He directly stored the cocoon formed by the divine butterfly into the wordless heavenly book, and turned to fly out of Sky Devil Valley. Where do you think you're going? Stay here for me. Ji Yuanlong's eyes flashed with murderous intent, and the purple gold divine spear instantly pierced through the void, piercing towards Ling Xiao. Despicable human, die for me. Bo Jia also roared. Murderous intent surged from his body, and his aura was monstrous. The black demonic saber seemed to be wrapped in a monstrous wave, and it also slashed towards Ling Xiao. Block it for me. Ling Zhao's eyes flashed. He was prepared to let the 3 silver-ranked warriors block the attack of Ji Yuanlong and Bo Jia, and then he would be able to escape successfully. However, before the 3 silver-ranked warriors could make a move, the sky seemed to have lit up at this moment. Boom. It was an incomparably resplendent sword ray that exploded in the void. It seemed to contain an immeasurable amount of light that illuminated the immeasurable world. At the same time, a majestic vitality surged forth and turned into a heavenly river that seemed to separate the heaven and earth. As well as Ji Yuanlong, Bo Jia, and Ling Xiao, everyone could see that in the dazzling light, a black-clothed figure surrounded by endless sword aura slashed towards Ji Yuanlong and Bo Jia. This is the sword of Sage Dao. Ji Yuanlong roared, his eyes filled with disbelief. That sword aura was like an eternal sun that contained exuberant vitality, like the earth in spring, and was about to bury Ji Yuanlong and Bo Jia within it. Divine Firmament Dragon King Transformation. Chaotic World Heavenly Demon Art. Ji Yuanlong and Bo Jia both felt a strong sense of danger from this terrifying sword strike. Immediately, they roared crazily and unleashed their most powerful attacks. Purple aura rose around Ji Yuanlong, and lightning filled the air. His entire body transformed into a purple divine dragon, exuding a monstrous divine aura. Lightning filled the sky, and it blasted towards that sword aura. On the other hand, demonic aura surged around Bo Jia. The void behind him trembled, and an incomparably illusory figure appeared. That figure seemed to have come from endless time and space, and it smashed its fist towards that sword aura. Rumble. Dazzling sword aura exploded, as if it was going to destroy all life. The purple divine dragon that Ji Yuanlong had transformed into exploded in an instant, and his entire body flew backwards. He coughed up blood, and his face became extremely pale. On the other hand, Boji was in an even more miserable state. Both of his arms suddenly exploded, and his entire body flew out. This is the Life Sword Dao. Chapter 1341. Amidst the dazzling divine light, a middle-aged man in a black robe strode over. His expression was very calm, and his appearance was very ordinary. However, his eyes were extremely sharp, and they seemed to contain two divine swords that could reach the heavens. They were proud, sharp, dignified, and domineering. He was like the emperor of the sword, and his might dominated the world and suppressed the world. He was surrounded by two opposite sword intents. One was full of vitality and majestic while the other was dark and cold, containing endless destructive and murderous intent. However, the two sword intents formed a perfect balance on his body, making him appear extremely mysterious. They were the life sword Dao and the destruction sword Dao. The middle-aged man in a black robe was Duguqiubai. Ling Xiao was pleasantly surprised. Duguqiubai was the second old friend he had met in the divine realm other than Ji Feishuan. Moreover, what shocked Ling Xiao was that Duguqiubai's cultivation had reached the complete heavenly god realm. He was only one step away from attaining the divine king realm. This kind of horrifying cultivation speed shocked even Ling Xiao. Senior Dugu has placed his primordial spirit in the longevity grass for hundreds of thousands of years. He has also comprehended the sword of the divine path. I'm afraid he has no bottlenecks before reaching the saint realm. He will be able to break through as long as he has enough resources. But this kind of cultivation speed is a little too terrifying. Ling Xiao muttered to himself as he smiled bitterly in his heart. It had only been 2 years since they entered the divine realm from the lower realm, but Duguqiubai had already broken through from the divine spirit realm to the great circle of the heavenly god realm. This speed was probably unprecedented. Greetings, Sword Saint. The moment Duguqiubai appeared, the human experts of the Hero Alliance bowed and greeted him with fanatical admiration in their eyes. Duguqiubai was the Sword Saint of the Hero Alliance. Ling Xiao had heard about the Hero Alliance. It was a powerful force that existed in the mythical space. Most of the members of the Alliance were abandoned disciples of the various sacred grounds. Some of them were even evil people. They relied on the various opportunities in the mythical space to grow stronger. Even the 12 immortal sacred grounds had failed several times when they wanted to eliminate the Hero Alliance. It was rumored that the leader of the Hero Alliance was a powerful saint. He was extremely powerful and had powerful divine skills. Duguqiubai had no lack of resources after becoming the Sword Saint of the Hero Alliance. However, his cultivation speed was still shocking. What was more shocking was his strength. Duguqiubai's sword had defeated Bojie of the Sky Demon Tribe and Ji Yuanlong of the Great Zhou College. You are the Sword Saint of the Hero Alliance. This is a matter between the Great Zhou College and Ares College. Could it be that you want to interfere? Ji Yuanlong's expression was ugly as he stared at Duguqiubai. He was both shocked and furious, and a trace of deep fear appeared in his heart. It must be known that the sword strike just now had contained Saint Wei sword intent. Divine Emperor Duguqiu? Divine King, Divine God Emperor, Saint 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 Saint, Divine Divine Divine. The Divine Divine Saint 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 Dao, Saint Saint. Once a Divine Emperor Duguqiubai comprehended his own Divine Dao, he would be able to embark on the path of Divine Dao and work towards becoming a legendary Saint. However, it was extremely rare for a divine king to comprehend a divine Dao. Even in the 12 immortal sacred grounds, almost all of them were true disciples. This sword saint was only in the great circle of the heavenly god realm, but he had comprehended his own divine Dao. No wonder he was called the sword saint. He was qualified. However, if Ji Yuanlong knew that Duguqiubai had comprehended his own divine Dao when he was in the divine spirit realm, he would be even more shocked. Duguqiubai could no longer be described as a prodigy. He was a demon that was hard to come by in a million years. Duguqiubai glanced at Ji Yuanlong and said, "Who do you think you are? You joined forces with the demon tribe to deal with your own kind. You are worse than pigs and dogs. Everyone has the right to kill you." Duguqiubai's voice was very calm, but it reached everyone's ears in an instant. Everyone was slightly startled and looked at Ji Yuanlong with a strange expression. No matter how the human race fought, they had to work together to fight against the demon tribe. This was the iron law of the human race. Ji Yuanlong's attack on Ling Xiao, whether it was intentional or not, was indeed suspected of joining forces with Bojie. Ji Yuanlong's expression changed immediately. If he was really accused of joining forces with the demon tribe, He would not be able to enter the 9 imperial gates in the future. He would probably be captured and interrogated as soon as he returned. He would not even be able to keep his identity as a disciple of the Great Zhou Academy. Bastard! Don't you dare slander me. I did not join forces with the demon tribe. I was only looking for this brat to take back what was mine. Ji Yuanlong stared at Dugu Qiubai and said coldly. He hated Dugu Qiubai to the core. If he did not feel that he was not a match for Dugu Qiubai, he would have attacked Dugu Qiubai directly. The demon saint's corpse is an ownerless item. Since this friend has it, it naturally belongs to him. How dare you shamelessly say that it belongs to you? Even the demon tribe would have to admit that they are inferior to such shamelessness. All of you get lost. I will protect this friend of mine. Dugu Qiubai said indifferently. His expression was very calm, and he did not even look at Ji Yuanlong. His tone was as casual as if he was sweeping the dust off his body. He did not care about Ji Yuanlong at all. This kind of disregard caused Ji Yuanlong's face to turn incomparably red. Ling Xiao blinked his eyes as if this was the first time he had met Dugu Qiubai. Not only was this person from the war god realm a natural sword cultivator, he was also very eloquent. With just a few words, he had caused Ji Yuanlong to fly into a rage. Even Ling Xiao felt inferior to him. Ah! The human race is just like what the ancestors said. They only know how to bully others. No wonder they can only become food for the sacred tribe. You don't have to fight anymore. Today, all of you will die. Wuxia suddenly laughed loudly, his eyes filled with bloodthirsty killing intent. Boom! Behind him, black demonic light surged, and the void trembled violently. Black runes lit up, and a spatial gate slowly opened. Ancient and evil demonic light spread out, and one figure after another stepped out of the void. There were a total of 3 figures. Each of them had a terrifying aura that shrouded the sky. A pair of blood-red eyes were filled with cold and cruel light. The 3 figures were shrouded in endless demonic light. They were ancient and mysterious. Although their faces could not be seen clearly, the cold killing intent and evil aura caused everyone's expression to change greatly. Chapter 1342. Not good. There are 3 demon god kings? We're done for. Damn it. This was originally a trap set by the demon race. It's natural for the demon god kings to arrive so quickly. What should we do? Let's hope that the seniors in the ancient city can sense the situation here and rush over in time. Looking at the 3 demon god kings before them, the faces of the human experts changed drastically. Each and every one of them revealed an incomparably terrified expression. The auras of these 3 demon god kings were incomparably terrifying. They covered the sky and covered the earth as they pressed down on the crowd. They were cold and evil. Some of the human experts with lower cultivation levels even felt their legs go soft. They had an impulse to kneel down. Ji Yuanlong's face changed as well. He even forgot about his argument with Dugu Qiubai. His gaze was incomparably solemn. He could sense that the 3 demon god kings before him were not ordinary divine king experts. Their true battle strength was probably equivalent to the strength of a late divine king. Such demon god kings were not something that Ji Yuanlong could deal with. Even if he could barely hold on, he would still be defeated after a long time. Another 3 experts from the heavenly devil race? Looks like Wuxia's status is not low. I wonder what's his relationship with demon god king Bo Sun? Ling Zhao's eyes flickered. When Wuxia used the chaotic heavenly demon technique, he had already thought of the relationship between Wuxia and demon god king Bo Sun. The demon god king Bo Sun's strength had left an extremely deep impression on Ling Xiao. In Ling Zhao's opinion, the 3 demon god kings before him were not as strong as Bo Sun. My 3 uncles, kill all the humans. Capture that human brat alive. The old ancestor's corpse is with him. He also has a divine bug on him. That divine bug killed my world-etching bug. Boji looked at the many human race experts in front of him, and said coldly. When he saw Ling Xiao, his eyes were filled with unforgettable hatred. It was because of Ling Xiao that the world-etching bug he had been planning for a long time had been destroyed. His hatred for Ling Xiao was greater than anyone else's. Young master, don't worry. They will all die. The demon god king in the middle said indifferently. His voice was like divine thunder that shook the void. Rumble. The 3 demon god kings instantly took action. 2 demon god kings charged towards the human experts while another demon god king grabbed at Ling Xiao, trying to capture him. Clang. At this moment, a dazzling sword light cut through the darkness, containing boundless light. Dugu Qiubai made his move. An extremely ordinary-looking sword appeared in his hand. He radiated with boundless light as strands of sword qi converged into a resplendent streak of sword qi, slashing towards the demon god king who was charging towards Ling Xiao. What? The demon god king's eyes also shook, revealing a look of disbelief. Obviously, he had also noticed the terrifying sword intent hidden in Dugu Qiubai's sword. It was the aura of a Saint Path sword. The golden light was sharp and indestructible, and it made him feel a sense of danger. Clang. Suddenly, his palm turned into a fist, and black scales appeared on his arm. Mysterious runes circled around his arm as he slammed it towards Dugu Qiubai. The sword light was extremely bright and finally exploded on the demon god king's arm, shattering a few of the scales and causing a trace of blood to flow out. Human ant, how dare you injure me? You are courting death. The demon god king's eyes flashed with killing intent. The demonic light around him dissipated, revealing his true appearance. It was a figure that was more than 10 feet tall. Although he looked similar to a human, he was covered in black scales and had a long tail behind him. This demon god king was not a pure sky demon tribe member. His bloodline was not pure, so he could only be considered as Bo Jie's subordinate. However, his attack was extremely powerful. A resplendent black lightning ball formed in front of him and shot towards Dugu Qiubai. The ball of lightning contained a dense destructive power, which was terrifying to the extreme. Break! Dugu Qiubai's eyes flashed as he uttered a single word. In the next moment, the sword light around him seemed to be dyed pitch black, and it was instantly enveloped by a layer of destructive light. He slashed his sword forward and directly slashed the black ball of lightning into pieces. The terrifying destructive force was devoured by Dugu Qiubai's sword. The sword light expanded and slashed towards the demon god king's head at an even faster speed. The speed of this sword was too fast. Destructive sword Dao. Even the demon god king only managed to move his body slightly. He was unable to dodge the attack completely. Therefore, one of his arms was chopped off by Dugu Qiubai's sword. Ah! Bastard, I'm going to kill you. The demon god king was completely enraged. A mere human in the great realm of the heavenly god realm had chopped off one of his arms. He could not tolerate this at all. He immediately charged forward and attacked Dugu Qiubai in a frenzy. On the other side, the 2 demon god kings were also blocked by Ji Yuanlong, Qinglian, and the rest. However, there was still a giant black snake demonic beast that was eyeing them covetously. Many of the human experts had suffered heavy casualties. Bo Jie had even broken free from the encirclement of the 3 silver-ranked warriors. His eyes were burning with killing intent as he charged towards Ling Xiao. Ling Xiao's eyes flashed, just as he was about to draw out the Xiankuan sword and give Bo Jie a stab. Kacha! Dazzling light shone in the void as golden runes formed a void gate. 3 powerful figures appeared in the sky above the heavenly Devil Valley in an instant. Another 3 godly king realm experts had arrived. However, when everyone saw the 3 figures, their eyes were filled with excitement. That was because the 3 figures were the godly king experts from Ares College, Imperial College, and Great Zhou College who were stationed in Ancient City. Demon bastards, I've been waiting for you for a long time. Since you're here, then stay here. The godly king expert from Ares College was a middle-aged burly man with a head full of red hair. His dark golden skin looked like it was made of metal. His entire body exuded a wild and unruly aura. He laughed loudly as his gaze was extremely sharp. He threw a punch towards a demon god king. The Imperial College's godly king expert was a young woman with an arrogant and cold aura. The Great Zhou College's godly king expert was a middle-aged man in a black dragon robe. The 2 of them also charged towards the demon god kings. With the addition of the 3 godly king experts, the human race's morale was greatly boosted. What? They're here so quickly? Bo Jie's eyes revealed a trace of shock. His expression was extremely ugly. With the addition of the 3 godly king experts, he instantly felt that something was amiss. He felt as though he had been schemed against, and a trace of retreating appeared in his heart. Chapter 1343. Rumble. Heaven and earth shook as the 3 supreme god realm experts joined the battle. Unparalleled divine power erupted. Although the 3 demon god realm experts were strong, they were stopped by the 3 supreme god realm experts. An intense battle broke out between them. Black demonic light shrouded the entire Sky Devil Valley. However, the middle-aged man from Ares College punched out. His fist-print soared into the sky like a blazing sun. The blazing light instantly dispersed the layers of demonic light as it charged towards one of the demon god realm experts. Clang! The arrogant girl from Imperial College wielded a divine sword. Sword chi spread out for 30,000 feet. It shot towards the forehead of a demon god realm expert like a bolt of lightning. The last middle-aged man in a black dragon robe had a dignified expression. Purple light rose around him. A purple divine dragon swept across the sky as he punched towards the last demon god realm expert. The battle between the 6 supreme god realm experts erupted in an instant. At this moment Qinglian, Ji Yuanlong, and Duge Qiubai were free. Even though Hugen, Langshan, and Yingzhu led many demons to fight desperately, they were no match for the 6 supreme god realm experts. Not long after, the 3 of them were killed by Duge Qiubai's sword. Their souls were completely scattered. Oh no! Boji's expression changed. Duge Qiubai's gaze fell on him, causing his heart to beat wildly. He was confident that he could defeat Ji Yuanlong and Qinglian. However, he had no confidence in defeating Sword Saint Duge Qiubai at all. Brat, I will remember you. Sooner or later, I will capture you personally and torture you to death. Boji glared at Ling Xiao before turning around to escape from the Sky Devil Valley. He hated Ling Xiao to the extreme. If it weren't for Ling Xiao, his plan would have succeeded. Not only would he have been able to capture all the geniuses of the human race, but he would also have been able to escape with the world-etching bug. However, Ling Xiao had caused his plan to fail. Even the world-etching bug had been devoured by the divine butterfly. Whoosh! Demonic light gushed out from Boji's body, causing the void to tremble slightly. A powerful talisman was emitted from his body. An ancient teleportation talisman appeared in his hand and turned into a ray of light that enveloped him. He was about to disappear into the void. You'd better stay here. A strange light flashed in Duge Qiubai's eyes. A dazzling divine sword appeared along with his voice. It seemed to illuminate the entire sky with an eternal light. Crack! That sword actually broke through the void at an extremely fast speed. Before Boji's body could completely disappear, it directly split him into 2 halves. Sword chi swept through the void, wanting to completely obliterate Boji. However, an ancient, mysterious, and terrifying aura erupted from Boji's body, instantly blocking Duge Qiubai's sword energy. Then, it wrapped around Boji and completely disappeared before everyone's eyes. Saint Dao protection? Ling Zhao's eyes flashed. He could see that the last burst of power from Boji was the power of the divine path. This meant that there was at least an unblemished saint behind Boji to be able to cast such a terrifying divine path protection on Boji. It seemed that Boji's identity was indeed extraordinary. Retreat. Seeing that Boji had successfully escaped, the 3 demon god kings also had the intention to retreat. They exchanged glances and instantly rushed out of Heavenly Devil Valley. Where do you think you're going? The 3 divine kings' eyes were filled with murderous intent as they chased after them. This time, it could be said that they had schemed against the devil race. Even if the 3 demon kings could not kill all of them, at least 1 or 2 of them would be left behind. Therefore, the 3 divine kings had no intention of giving up and continued to pursue. In Heavenly Devil Valley, all the devil race experts were slaughtered. Even the giant black snake was killed by Duge Qiubai's sword. The air was filled with a thick smell of blood. In the past, Heavenly Devil Valley could be said to be an important stronghold of the devil race. However, because of this battle, it was completely uprooted. Junior brother Long Outyan, hand over the Devil Saint's corpse. That's our spoils of war and should be shared equally. Don't tell me that you want to keep it for yourself? Ji Yuanlong's eyes flashed as he looked at Ling Xiao indifferently. That's right. Long Outyin, hand over the Devil Saint's corpse quickly. If it weren't for our bloody battle, you would have died in the hands of the devil race. How could you have obtained the Devil Saint's corpse? Hand it over quickly. And the 9-colored butterfly that swallowed the world-etching insect is also ours. Under Ji Yuanlong's instigation, the eyes of many human race experts lit up as they berated Ling Xiao. Among them, the people from the Great Zhou Academy were the loudest. They were even interested in the divine Skyman butterfly and wanted Ling Xiao to hand it over. After all, they had suffered heavy losses in this battle and almost fell into the devil race's trap. Everyone was here for the Devil Saint's corpse. How could they be willing to return empty-handed? If the Devil Saint's corpse fell into the hands of Qinglian, Ji Yuanlong, or Dugu Qiubai, no one would dare to make a fuss. However, when it fell into the hands of Ling Xiao, who was only at the late True God realm, they immediately became restless. The greed in their hearts overcame everything. Do you have any shame? If it wasn't for my brother who killed the world-etching insect and saved all of you would have become food for the world-etching insect. How could you still have the energy to make a fuss here? Yi Liangchen couldn't help but jump out and scold the crowd. That's right. The Devil Saint's corpse is Senior Brother Long's spoils of war. It's fine if you don't thank Senior Brother Long for saving your lives, but you still have the face to ask for a share of the spoils of war? How shameless. Yin Tiansong sneered. This guy had been with Yi Liangchen for a long time, and had become sharp-tongued. No matter who it was, he would dare to stand out and scold them. Ji Yuanlong said calmly, "You can't say that. If it wasn't for everyone holding back the experts of the devil race, Long Outyin wouldn't have the chance to get the Devil Saint's corpse. If you don't hand it over, I'm afraid it won't make sense, right?" Wang Chong sneered and said, "Big senior brother, this Long Outyin is the most despicable person. Previously, when we were at the Tiger Demon race, he snatched our treasures. He is despicable and shameless. In my opinion, he is no different from those bastards of the devil race." Ling Zhao's expression was calm, but there was a hint of coldness in his eyes. He glanced at the people who were making a fuss and said calmly, "The Devil Saint's corpse is with me. If anyone is not afraid of death, come and take it." Testy. You are just at the late True God realm. What are you acting for? Let's all attack together and kill this kid. The Devil Saint's corpse will be ours. A middle-aged man at the peak of the True God realm sneered. Chapter 1344. Ling Zhao's face was calm, but his eyes were cold. He was filled with killing intent towards Ji Yuanlong and Wang Chong. As the saying goes, a man's wealth is his own ruin. If Ling Xiao had the same cultivation as Qinglian and Ji Yuanlong, these people naturally wouldn't dare to say anything. However, it was because Ling Xiao was only at the late True God realm that he was easy to bully. Everyone was envious when they saw him monopolizing the Demon Saint's corpse. Ling Xiao only had one word for such a situation, and that was to kill. Kill until no one dared to make a sound. Kill until no one dared to touch him. Ling Zhao's body was filled with cold killing intent. At this moment, Dugu Qiubai spoke. "Long Outyin is my friend. Whoever dares to touch him will die." Dugu Qiubai's expression was calm, and his voice was indifferent. However, everyone's expression changed the moment he spoke. The Sword Saint of the Heroes Alliance was too powerful. He suppressed the entire crowd and severely injured the genius of the Sky Demon race, Bo Jia. Qinglian and Ji Yuanlong were overshadowed by him. In the end, he even killed the Divine King Realm giant Black Snake with a single slash and won everyone's respect. Who would dare to say no when such a powerful person wanted to support Long Outyin? Even Ji Yuanlong's face turned ugly. "Sir, are you really going to meddle in our business?" Ji Yuanlong said coldly. Although he knew that he was no match for Dugu Qiubai, he was more confident now. The Divine King Realm experts of the Great Zhou Academy had arrived and could return at any time. By then, they would be able to deal with a mere complete Heavenly God Realm expert. "I've said it before. If you're not afraid of death, come and try," Dugu Qiubai said indifferently. His eyes were deep and unfathomable, and he did not even look at Ji Yuanlong. "Ji Yuanlong, if Long Outyin did not save us, we would have been dead by now. Therefore, the demon saint's corpse should belong to him. At that moment, Qinglian also spoke. Ji Yuanlong's face turned even uglier when he saw Dugu Qiubai and Qinglian speaking up for Long Outyan. His eyes were filled with killing intent, but his fear overcame his impulse to attack. Very well. Long Outyan, if that's the case, I'll leave Demon Saint's body with you for the time being. However, this matter is not over yet. Ji Yuanlong stared deeply at Ling Xiao before turning around, and leaving with Wang Chong and the others. Without the Great Zhou Academy leading the way, the human experts naturally gave up and left one by one. They didn't dare to stay any longer. Junior Brother Long, I just received news that the Supreme Dao Palace is taking this matter very seriously. An elder has already arrived at the ancient city. He should be bringing Miss Jin's back to the Supreme Dao Palace. Qinglian glanced at Ling Xiao and said apologetically. She felt apologetic for acting on her own and reporting to the Most Supreme Holy Ji Palace. However, the Most Supreme Holy Ji body was too important to the Most Supreme Holy Ji Palace, and this matter had to be reported. One could imagine that once Jin Sei entered the Taishang Palace, she would immediately become a true disciple and be thoroughly protected. Her future would be bright. Jin Sei glanced at Ling Xiao, her expression extremely calm, but there was a strange look in her eyes that quickly disappeared. Senior Sister Qinglian, it is Jin Sei's wish to enter the Supreme Dao Palace to cultivate. Don't worry, I'm also happy for her. Ling Xiao was shocked, but on the surface, he still smiled faintly and said without showing it. That's good. Junior Brother Long, don't worry. Given Miss Jin's talent, she will definitely be nurtured by the Supreme Dao Palace. If there's nothing else, we'll take our leave and return to the ancient city. Qinglian said with a faint smile. Okay. Ling Xiao nodded, a hint of reluctance in his eyes. He transmitted to Jin Sei. Jin Sei, I know that you might still have doubts about what I said before, but I believe that you will remember. Remember me. Remember everything you've forgotten. We will definitely meet again. Ling Zhao's voice was very firm, as if he was speaking to Jin Sei, but also as if he was speaking to himself. Jin Sei said nothing, only calmly nodded. Wang. Ling Xiao took out the cocoon formed by the divine butterfly, and it immediately turned into a stream of light and merged into Jin Sei's arm, forming a 9-colored cocoon pattern. The divine butterfly had already recognized Jin Sei as its master. It could be expected that after this evolution, it would possess even more terrifying power. With the protection of the divine butterfly, Ling Xiao could rest assured even if Jin Sei entered the Supreme Dao Palace. Ling Xiao took a deep breath, then looked at Xian Wang, Yap Liangchen, Fengya, and Yin Tiansong and said, after the battle in Sky Devil Valley, the mythical space will be in turmoil. With the nature of the demon race, they will definitely seek revenge. So, you should all return to the academy for now. All the contribution points have been given to you. Here are 12 drops of sacred liquid. I hope that you can all become stronger as soon as possible. In the battle in Sky Devil Valley, many demon race experts were killed. There was even a demonic beast that was a black snake. Its demonic crystal was also given to Ling Xiao by Dugu Qiubai. Qinglian also collected some demonic crystals and gave them to Ling Xiao as thanks for allowing Jin Sei to enter the Supreme Dao Palace. All in all, they had earned more than 30,000 contribution points from this battle. In addition to the contribution points and sacred liquid, the contribution points and sacred liquid were enough to increase the cultivation of Xian Wang and the other 3. Senior Brother Long, aren't you coming back with us? Xian Wang naturally recognized Dugu Qiubai. She looked at Ling Xiao and asked, I still have something to do. You all can go back first. Ling Xiao said. Then big brother, be careful. Don't get tricked by the demon race. Yap Liangchen chuckled. You jinx. Senior Brother Long will be fine. Fengya glared at Yap Liangchen. In the end, Xian Wang and the others returned to the Supreme Ancient City under Qinglian's lead. With a great expert like Green Lotus around, Ling Xiao felt much more at ease in his heart. Ling Xiao, come with me. Dugu Qiubai sent a voice transmission to Ling Xiao. Then, the two of them flew into the sky and left Sky Devil Valley. As for the members of the Hero Alliance, they had already left under Dugu Qiubai's orders. Ling Xiao and Dugu Qiubai flew tens of thousands of miles away from Sky Devil Valley, and finally landed in a valley. Wang. An ancient jade talisman appeared in Dugu Qiubai's hand. Instantly, it turned into a powerful array in the void and enveloped the two of them. Ling Xiao, I didn't expect you to join Aries College. This is a good choice for you, Dugu Qiubai said with a smile. They were very cautious. Even when they were talking, they had to conceal their aura to ensure that nothing would go wrong. Chapter 1345. Ling Xiao said with a smile, Senior Dugu, I did not expect you to become the Sword Saint of the Heroes Alliance. In just 2 years, your cultivation has reached such a high level. I'm afraid you are the first in history. Ling Xiao exclaimed in his heart. Dugu Qiubai's cultivation speed would make countless geniuses in the divine world blush with shame. You know it. I have entrusted my primordial spirit to the longevity grass for hundreds of thousands of years. That's why my cultivation is a little special. There are no bottlenecks for me before the Saint Realm. Dugu Qiubai said with a faint smile. It was indeed a happy thing to be able to meet an old friend of the war god realm in the mythical space. As Ling Xiao and Dugu Qiubai talked, Ling Xiao learned about Dugu Qiubai's experience in the past 2 years. It turned out that Dugu Qiubai had appeared in the mythical space 2 years ago when they were separated in the passageway of the divine world. By chance, he had joined the Heroes Alliance and displayed his unparalleled talent. He continued to kill demons, and with the help of the resources provided by the Heroes Alliance, his cultivation had improved by leaps and bounds. Dugu Qiubai looked at Ling Xiao and said slowly, Ling Xiao, Miss Xuewei also appeared in the mythical space with me. Xuewei. Where is she? Ling Xiao's heart skipped a beat. When she entered the mythical space, she was taken away by a group of powerful women in white. Unfortunately, I was not strong enough to save her. Later on, I heard that the group of women in white were from the Reincarnation Palace. Xuewei should be in the Reincarnation Palace now, Dugu Qiubai said slowly. Ling Xiao was a little anxious at first. However, when he heard about the Reincarnation Palace, his heart skipped a beat. Like the War God Temple, the Reincarnation Palace was one of the 12 immortal sacred grounds. They had dominated the divine world for hundreds of millions of years. Xuewei had the sacred reincarnation constitution. She was the most suitable person to cultivate the skills of the Reincarnation Palace. If she was in the Reincarnation Palace, she would definitely be nurtured as a true disciple. Ling Xiao felt a little relieved at the thought of this. If she really entered the Reincarnation Palace, I will definitely be able to find her. There's no hurry. Senior Dugu, have you seen anyone else? Ling Xiao asked. For example, the whereabouts of the old goat and the white dragon horse were still unknown. However, they were with the Black Tortoise King. Perhaps they were already in the demon realm. I haven't seen the others. I've also asked around for news in the past 2 years, but I haven't heard anything about them. Dugu Qiubai shook his head. He then looked at Ling Xiao and said, Ling Xiao, you should be cultivating the War God Temple's undying battle body, right? I see that you have already cultivated to the 3rd level. Next, you should be refining the Xianhuang Qi to be able to cultivate the 3rd level to perfection, right? Dugu Qiubai also knows about the indestructible battle body. Ling Xiao was slightly surprised. Dugu Qiubai smiled faintly and said, The immortal war body may be a martial art from the War God Shrine, but don't forget that there are people from all walks of life in the Hero Alliance. We even have a few disciples from the War God Shrine. Therefore, I know something about the indestructible battle flesh. Besides, I know a place with rich Xianhuang Qi, which is perfect for you to cultivate. Oh, where is it? Ling Xiao asked. It's in a valley less than 10,000 miles away from here. The Xianhuang Qi is intertwined there, and it's covered by an ancient formation. It's perfect for your cultivation. Here's the exact location, Dugu Qiubai said slowly, and then sent Ling Xiao a set of coordinates. Ling Xiao, work hard on your cultivation. If you don't become a sage, you'll always be an ant. If you want to have enough power to protect yourself, the sage path is just the beginning. I hope you can go further. Who knows, maybe we'll have to fight in the future. Dugu Qiubai said as he looked at Ling Xiao meaningfully. Senior Dugu, don't worry. I'll try my best to catch up. I can't fall too far behind you, right? Ling Xiao said with a smile. You're ambitious. This is the hero's token of the Hero Alliance. As long as you enter the mythical space, you can use it to contact me. I'll go back first. Be careful, especially after the battle in the Sky Devil Valley. I'm afraid this area will be in chaos for some time. Dugu Qiubai reminded. Thank you, Senior. Ling Xiao nodded and waved goodbye to Dugu Qiubai. Dugu Qiubai rose into the sky and left the place. Ling Xiao followed Dugu Qiubai's instructions and flew toward the valley. Now that he had obtained the Demon Saint's corpse and the Xianhuang Qi, Ling Xiao was ready to enter the Shrine of Time to cultivate. He wanted to break through to the Celestial God realm in one go. Ling Xiao's current cultivation was still a little too high. Facing a great perfection celestial god like Ji Yuanlong, he could only rely on the Xianhuang Kuan sword to fight. However, the Xianhuang Kuan sword was just an external object. His own strength was the foundation. Big Senior Brother, are we just going to let it go? That's the Demon Saint's corpse. How could Long Outyin deserve it? Wang Cheng said to Ji Yuanlong, his face filled with unwillingness. Let it go. How can we let it go? Don't worry. Dugu Qiubai won't be able to follow Long Outyin forever. Furthermore, Royal Uncle is about to return from chasing the Demon God King. This time, even the Hall Master is in the mythical space. The Demon Saint's corpse can only belong to our Great Zhou Academy. Ji Yuanlong sneered. His eyes were filled with cold killing intent. At the same time, his heart was filled with greed. Long Outyin had at least 2 perfect holy treasures, and an unknown butterfly that could kill the world-eclipsing bug. These were all unimaginable treasures. A mere late-stage true god realm Long Outyin actually had so many treasures. He was simply courting death. Ah, Big Senior Brother is right. I have long found that Long Outyin an eyesore. This time, I will kill him with my own hands. Wang Cheng sneered. Let's go. Let's meet up with Royal Uncle and the others. Ji Yuanlong said indifferently as he led the disciples of the Great Zhou Academy into the sky. It wasn't just Ji Yuanlong's group. There were many people in the mythical space who were asking about Ling Xiao's whereabouts. These were the experts of the human race who had participated in the battle at Sky Devil Valley. There were also some extremely vicious people who coveted the Demon Saint's corpse in Ling Xiao's possession and wanted to take a share of the loot. Other than the experts of the human race, there were also experts of the demon race who had their eyes on Ling Xiao. Moreover, after Boji issued the bounty, the experts of the demon race in the mythical space were in an uproar. They began to take revenge on the experts of the human race and hunt them down while searching for Ling Xiao's whereabouts. Right now, Ling Xiao was like a moving treasure trove, attracting the greed of everyone. Chapter 1346. Wang. In the depths of the valley, Ling Xiao dug out a dwelling and laid down several dozen defensive formations and aura-concealing formations. Afterwards, he used the power of his world of heart to connect with the distant Great Void Divine Hall and enter it. Heart Realm was the foundation of the Heart Realm. Ling Xiao could feel it but could not touch it. It was very illusory. Only when he reached the 6th level of the Great Void Charm Scripture could it become a real existence. Therefore, the Heart Realm and Heart Realm did not bring much help to Ling Xiao's combat strength. However, it was very useful for him to comprehend the Talisman Dao and the Heaven and Earth. Ling Xiao cultivated the Essence, Qi and Spirit Dao at the same time. He had the Ancestral Dragon Secret skill for his physical body, and the Indestructible War Body for his Qi. He had the Heaven Devouring Secret skill, and the Aries Art for his Qi. The cultivation of the primordial spirit was the most difficult. However, the Great Void Charm Scripture was not as simple as cultivating Heart Realm. It was also very useful for Ling Xiao's primordial spirit. Therefore, Ling Xiao was cultivating 4 Daos at the same time, which increased the difficulty of his breakthrough. Uncle Su, I have obtained the corpse of the Great Devil Saint. It should be enough to activate the Flowing Time Temple, right? Ling Xiao said with a smile when he saw Uncle Su in the Great Void Temple. The corpse of the Great Devil Saint? If it is the complete corpse of the great devil saint, it should be enough for you to cultivate in the flowing time temple for a long time. Moreover, the divine path energy is very useful for cultivating the great void temple. Uncle Su's eyes lit up. It is indeed the complete corpse of the great devil saint. I will take it out for you to see. Ling Xiao smiled, and was about to take out the corpse of the great devil saint from the wordless heavenly book. However, in the next moment his face turned green. Bastard! Ling Xiao gritted his teeth and quickly took out the head and arm of the great devil saint from the wordless heavenly book. As for the other parts, they were all devoured by the wordless heavenly book. Ling Xiao had forgotten that the great devil saint's corpse was irresistible to the wordless heavenly book. Therefore, the wordless heavenly book silently devoured more than half of the great devil saint's corpse. If Ling Xiao did not remember it now, he would not know that the great devil saint's corpse had been completely devoured by the wordless heavenly book. Ling Xiao's heart was bleeding. That was the complete corpse of the devil saint. Enough for him to cultivate in the flowing time temple for a long time. But now most of it had been devoured by the wordless heavenly book. However, what made Ling Xiao a little less depressed was that the wordless heavenly book had devoured more than half of the holy devil's corpse, and its energy reserves had once again reached 99%. As long as it was perfected again, it would be able to manifest a secret technique. Should I let it continue to devour and manifest a secret technique? Ling Xiao thought to himself, but after thinking for a while, he rejected this idea. According to the past behavior of the wordless heavenly book, the secret arts that were randomly manifested were mostly secret arts on the Earth Carnage Proclamation. They were all the innate abilities of those powerful demonic beasts. Ling Xiao already had the secret arts of the 5 directional sacred beasts, and did not have much desire for the Earth Carnage secret art. What he desired the most was the Heaven Dipper secret technique, because every Heaven Dipper secret technique was incomparably powerful and contained unfathomable power. It seems like I have to strive to find a fragment of the Heaven Dipper secret technique. Only then will I be able to manifest a complete Heaven Dipper secret technique. Ling Xiao thought to himself. Just like when he first obtained the Heaven Devouring secret technique and the Ancestral Dragon, it was because he had the fragments of those 2 secret arts that he was able to obtain the complete secret arts. Ling Xiao gave up on the idea of manifesting the wordless heavenly book, and decided to leave it for the future. Uncle Su, how long can this devil saint's head and arm operate the flowing time temple? Ling Xiao asked expectantly. Only the head and arm? That's really a pity. I'm afraid these 2 things can only keep the flowing time temple open for 2 years at most. If it was the complete devil saint's corpse, I'm afraid it would be able to keep the flowing time temple running for at least 100 years. Uncle Su's face was also full of regret. Hearing Uncle Su's words, Ling Xiao's heart was bleeding. 2 years it is. 30 times the flow of time. That's 60 years. I must break through to the heavenly god realm in 60 years. Ling Xiao was also determined. Although his cultivation speed was not slow, it was still too slow compared to Qinglian, Ji Yuanlong, and even Duga Qiubai. He needed to break through to the heavenly god realm to be able to protect himself. There was also the immortal war body. Since he had found the heaven and earth qi, he needed to cultivate it to the peak of the 3rd level, and then break through to the 4th level of the 5 organs divine palace. If he could break through to the 4th level of the immortal war body, Ling Xiao's physical body alone would be enough to sweep through the heavenly god realm. There was also the Great Void Charm scripture. Although the progress was slow, as long as he continued to cultivate, he would be able to break through to a higher realm in 60 years. Although 60 years was a long time, it was still not enough for the martial arts that Ling Xiao needed to cultivate. There are still 80 million divine stones, 1,500,000 divine crystals, and 8 drops of saint liquid. These should be enough for me to break through to the heavenly god realm. Ling Xiao thought to himself as he took out all the resources he had. These resources were enough for a person to cultivate all the way to the divine king realm from birth. However, to Ling Xiao, it would be difficult to break through to the next realm. Rumble. Ling Xiao sat down in the flowing time temple with his legs crossed. He was surrounded by boundless primal chaos. There was no time or space. Only a hazy light enveloped him. As time flowed 30 times faster, Ling Xiao also began to cultivate in seclusion. A golden sea appeared behind him. It was vast and surging, containing the power to devour everything. It was the devouring divine sea. At this moment, it had completely erupted. In the Great Void Temple, Ling Xiao could naturally use the devouring divine skill without fear. His cultivation speed was more than 10 times, or even 100 times faster than before. In the Flowing Time Temple, Ling Xiao used 10 years to devour all the energy in the 80 million divine stones. His cultivation had finally reached the complete true God realm. In the next 20 years, 1,500,000 divine crystals and 8 drops of saint liquid were all refined by Ling Xiao. However, his cultivation remained at the complete true God realm. He had reached a limit, but there was no way for him to break through. In the past 30 years, Ling Xiao was multitasking. He was also cultivating the Great Void Charm scripture. Although the growth of his heart force was very slow, he still broke through to the second level. In the following time, Ling Xiao did not continue to cultivate in seclusion. Instead, he collected a large amount of Xianhuang qi from the valley and began to refine it. The third level of the Undying War Body required him to refine a large amount of Xianhuang qi. It would allow his limbs to possess divine strength and be refined like divine weapons. The more abundant the Xianhuang qi was, the faster he could cultivate the third level. Duge Qiubai had told Ling Xiao that there was a large amount of Xianhuang qi in this place. As Ling Xiao continued to refine it, his Undying War Body gradually became stronger and stronger. Furthermore, Ling Xiao discovered a very interesting change. The Indestructible Battle Body and the Ancestral Dragon Secret Skill actually showed signs of complementing each other. As the Indestructible Battle Body grew stronger, Ling Xiao's Divine Dragon Body actually showed signs of reaching perfection. Could it be that the Undying War Body and the Divine Dragon Body have something to do with each other? Ling Xiao's heart skipped a beat. However, he immediately suppressed all the distracting thoughts and continued to cultivate in seclusion. Chapter 1347. After Ling Xiao went into seclusion, the whole mythical space became more and more turbulent. Many people were looking for Ling Xiao's whereabouts. They wanted to get the Holy Devil's corpse, the flawless holy sword, and even the strange butterfly that could kill the world-eclipsing bug. Both the human clan and the demon clan experts were looking for Ling Xiao's whereabouts in the mythical space, because they knew that Ling Xiao had not returned to the ancient city. The battle in the Heavenly Devil Valley had thoroughly intensified the conflict between the human clan and the demon clan. A large number of experts from both sides had entered the area near the ancient city and started a fierce battle, with casualties on both sides. However, the demon clan seemed to have no regard for their lives. A large number of low-level, mid-level, and even high-level demons surged over, and there were even signs of them wanting to flatten the ancient city. The main reason why the demon clan was so crazy was that in the battle in the Heavenly Devil Valley, the Holy Devil Boji had been severely injured by Duge Qiubai, and the 3 great demon kings that Boji had brought with him had been killed and 1 great demon king severely injured under the scheme of the 5 great academies. For this reason, although the 5 great academies had sent out more than 10 divine king experts, nearly half of them had been seriously injured. One must know that the 3 demon god kings were experts of the Heavenly Devil clan. Their strength was incomparably terrifying. In the devil world, although the strength of the Saint Devil clan was extremely terrifying and stood at the apex of the devil world, it was extremely difficult for the Saint Devil clan to reproduce. It was simply impossible for the Saint Devil clan to reproduce like locusts. Every Holy Devil clan expert was incomparably precious. This time, 2 great demon kings had been killed in the mythical space, and one was unknown whether he was dead or alive. This naturally infuriated the Heavenly Devil clan. As a result, the 5 great academies led a fierce battle with the demon army in the area where the ancient city was located. Although such a fierce battle had caused the 5 great academies to suffer heavy losses, a portion of the genius experts had rapidly grown in the battle. In the blink of an eye, 2 years had passed. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. 3 figures flitted across the barren mountains and rushed forward like lightning. They were 3 young men in black robes. They looked very pale, and the corners of their mouths were full of blood. The blood even dyed their clothes red, and their chi appeared to be quite chaotic. Faster, faster. We must hurry back to the ancient city and pass on the news of that demon god king. The leader was a handsome man with a resolute face. He was at the mid-heavenly god realm. His body was resplendent like glass, and contained a vast amount of vital energy. He was the strongest of the 3. The other 2 were at the early heavenly god stage. Judging from their attire, the 3 of them were disciples of Ares College. You want to run? You'd better stay here obediently and become this old man's food. A gloomy voice sounded out. Demonic light filled the void as a tall old man with long blue hair appeared. His entire body was covered in strange scales, and even his eyes were blue. He chased after the 3 of them on a demonic light. Not good. Senior Brother Fong, the demon god king has already caught up. What do we do? We're no match for him. The expressions of the 2 young men changed drastically. Their faces were filled with incomparable anxiety as they hurriedly spoke. You guys go first. I'll stop him. Fong Sheng's eyes revealed a trace of determination as he said coldly. This Fong Sheng was the Fong Sheng that Ling Xiao had met when she first entered Ares College. 2 years ago, he was still at the full true god realm. Now he had reached the mid-heavenly god realm. Moreover, with the powerful immortal body, his strength had increased by leaps and bounds, and he had become a rising star in Ares College. No. Senior Brother Fong, although that demon god king is severely injured, his true strength is still extremely terrifying. You're no match for him. If you want to leave, we'll leave together. The 2 young men said anxiously. Don't talk so much nonsense. Let's go quickly. The most important thing is to pass on the news here. We can't let those juniors die in vain. Fong Sheng suddenly slapped out, sending the 2 Ares College disciples flying thousands of feet away. Then he gritted his teeth and charged at the demon god king behind him. War god King Fist. Fong Sheng's eyes blazed with divine light, and his body exuded a glass-like light. He suddenly threw a punch at the demon god king, like a small sun rising into the sky. The war god King Fist was a martial art that went hand in hand with the Ares art. It could be said that it was easy to learn but difficult to master. Many disciples had learned it before, but the initial stage of the war god King Fist was not considered strong. Moreover, it was too difficult to cultivate to the full mastery realm, so most people would choose to change martial arts. But Fong Sheng was different. He was a person with perseverance. When he was building the foundation for the immortal body, the only martial art he cultivated was the war god King Fist. Now, after hundreds of years of hard work, he had cultivated the 9 styles of the war god King Fist to the full mastery realm. When he threw out a punch, it was like the birth of a god of war, exuding an invincible aura. A disciple of Ares Temple? Your fist technique is not bad, but your cultivation is too weak. It's your honor to be able to become my food. The demon god king was slightly shocked, but he also threw out a punch. Gotcha. Demonic aura filled the void, and the heavens and earth trembled. The demon god king's punch was terrifying and instantly destroyed Fong Sheng's fist. The terrifying power exploded, and Fong Sheng was directly sent flying by his punch. Let's go. The 2 Ares College disciples' eyes were red, but at this moment, they could only stare at the demon god king, then turn around and leave at top speed. You want to leave? Leave this old man's food for me. The demonic god king's eyes were filled with cold murderous intent. He reached out and grabbed at the air. Instantly, 2 black divine lights pierced through the air. Like 2 bolts of silk, they directly bound the 2 Ares College disciples and pulled them over. It's over. The 2 Ares College disciples did not have the slightest ability to resist, and their eyes revealed a trace of despair. Rumble. But at this moment, a golden light suddenly exploded in the void. It was an extremely bright light, like lightning and also like a rainbow. It wrapped around a mysterious figure and shot over at high speed. The golden light illuminated the sky and turned into an incomparably huge fist, eternal and invincible. The power hidden in the fist caused the demon god king's face to change drastically. Who is it? Chapter 1348. Kacha. The golden and black lights collided. It was as if the heavenly thunder had exploded, causing the void to rumble. The demonic God King was sent flying by the punch. War God King Fist. Junior brother Long Aotian? Feng Sheng's face was full of shock, but he recognized it immediately. This was the War God King Fist, but it was more than 10 times or even 100 times stronger than when he used it. And the figure shrouded in the golden light was heroic. His clothes were whiter than snow, and his eyes were bright and deep. Who else could it be but Long Aotian? That's the champion of the Great Void Trial, the new disciple, Long Aotian? How can he be so strong? The 2 students from Ares College were also stunned. They were all senior disciples, and each of them had been through many battles in the mythical space. They had always been extremely proud, but this new disciple who had just entered the sect had given them a huge blow. Long Aotian had actually sent the demonic God King flying with one punch. This made them feel like they were dreaming. Senior brother Feng, long time no see. Ling Xiao smiled at Feng Sheng. Indeed, it's been a long time. In just 2 years, junior brother Long has such terrifying combat power. I'm really ashamed. Feng Sheng was a little emotional. He could see that Ling Xiao's cultivation had reached the early stage of the heavenly god realm. He was even 1 stage higher than him, but for some reason he felt a strong sense of threat from Ling Xiao. Ling Xiao looked very calm at this moment, and his aura was also faintly discernible. However, no one could deny how terrifying that powerful punch was. Another disciple of the War God Temple? You're just an early stage heavenly god, but you have such a strong physical body? But that's good too. With such a strong physical body, your vitality must be incomparably vigorous. As long as I devour you, my cultivation will be able to recover quickly. The demonic God King's eyes revealed a hint of shock, but then they became extremely greedy. In the Battle of the Sky Devil Valley 2 years ago, the 3 demonic God Kings were trapped by the deity kings of the 5 major colleges. 2 of them were killed, and even he suffered unimaginable injuries. In the end, he escaped by the skin of his teeth. He had also been cultivating in seclusion. It had taken him a full 2 years to prevent his injuries from worsening. The moment he came out of seclusion, he had encountered a disciple from Ares College. Thus, he had conceived the idea of devouring Ares College's disciples to recover from his injuries. Although he was severely injured, and could not even maintain his combat power of a deity king, it was easy for him to deal with a group of the Ares College disciples. 7 or 8 people were killed by him, and their flesh and primordial spirits were devoured. Only Feng Sheng and the other 2 elders escaped. On the other hand, Long Aotian was only an early heavenly god, yet he was able to push him back with a single punch. His physical body was ridiculously strong. The demon god king could already sense the vigorous vital energy within Ling Xiao's body. He even felt an irresistible temptation. He immediately made up his mind to completely devour this guy. You want to kill me? I'm afraid you don't have the ability. The demon crystal in your body is damaged, and your primordial spirit is cracked. With your remaining combat power, if you want to die, I'll fulfill your wish. Ling Xiao said calmly, his eyes calm. No one could imagine how much he had changed in the past 2 years. The flowing time temple's 30 times faster flow of time gave him 60 years of cultivation time. Not only did he break through to the peak of the early heavenly god realm, but his indestructible war body had also reached the peak of the 4th level. His 5 viscera divine palaces were all occupied by gods, giving him a terrifying physical strength. His other improvements were even more unthinkable. Even his Great Void Heart Rune scripture had been cultivated to the peak of the 2nd level. Moreover, he had opened another rune hall, allowing him to have a deeper understanding of rune doctrine. Ling Xiao could now make talismans with the help of his heart force. He had even successfully made a divine escape talisman. It could be said that in these 2 years, Ling Xiao had undergone a complete transformation. A severely injured demonic god king was nothing in his eyes. You can actually see my injuries? Very well. I'd like to see if your strength is as strong as your eyes. The demonic god king was slightly surprised. His demon crystal was damaged, and his primordial spirit was cracked. It was his fundamental secret. He didn't expect Ling Xiao to expose it so easily. Rumble. Black light surged around the demonic god king, and dozens of arms appeared behind him. Each arm surged with demonic light, and they formed fist seals, whistling toward Ling Xiao. It was as if dozens of fist seals came at Ling Xiao in an instant, like a tsunami, containing unparalleled divine strength. Although the demonic god king was severely injured, his attack still surpassed that of an ordinary complete heavenly god realm expert. Good timing. Ling Xiao's eyes revealed a strong fighting spirit. His indestructible war body had reached the 4th level, and it could be considered a great success. It also gave his physical body a terrifying strength. Even if he didn't use the ancestral dragon secret technique, he could still defeat heavenly gods with his indestructible war body alone. Rumble. Rings of light erupted from Ling Xiao's body. His heart was beating violently, and with every beat, a majestic aura of qi and blood would surge forth, forming a faint blood-red glow around him. It was still the power of the war god king fist. He punched toward the demonic god king. The world shook, and it was like an ancient divine mountain, containing a formless and vast divine strength, and it blasted toward the demonic god king. Those dozens of terrifying fist seals that came from all directions were blocked by his punch, and then the fist seals exploded at the same time. In the end, Ling Xiao and the demonic god king collided violently. It was like two volcanoes erupting, emitting an earth-shattering rumble. Ling Xiao's body only shook slightly, but the demonic god king was suddenly sent flying. Is this the power of the 5 Viscera Divine Palace at the 4th level of the indestructible war body? Junior brother Long is truly a god. Fang Sheng watched Ling Xiao and the demonic god king battle in amazement. One had to know that Long Outyin had only joined Ares College 2 years ago, and that was when he started cultivating the indestructible war body. In just 2 years, he had cultivated the indestructible war body to the pinnacle of the 4th level. This could be said to be unprecedented. After all, even the number 1 on the Hidden Dragon leaderboard, Big Brother Big Dipper, spent more than 100 years to cultivate the indestructible war body to the pinnacle of the 4th level. And Big Dipper and Ling Xiao were both peerless powerhouses who had achieved godhood with their physical bodies. Fang Sheng was even worse. Because he didn't achieve godhood with his physical body, just the 1st level of the perfect foundation had troubled him for almost 60 years. But fortunately, he had perseverance and persevered. In the end, he soared into the sky. But he felt that compared to Long Outyin, he was really like a firefly to the moon. They couldn't be compared at all. Chapter 1349. The demon race's physical body was incomparably strong, not to mention a demon god king. His physical body alone was probably comparable to some powerful divine beasts. However, the demon god king in front of him was sent flying by Ling Xiao's punch. Fang Sheng was shocked. Perhaps even the legendary Big Dipper senior brother could not compare to him. The martial arts of the war god temple? Human ant, I'd like to see how strong your physical body is. The demon god king was also shocked, his eyes filled with disbelief. He could recognize that Ling Xiao cultivated the war god temple's indestructible war body, but Ling Xiao's terrifying physical strength still shocked him completely, and it also aroused his greed. As long as he could devour the blood essence of such a strong human, not only would his injuries be healed, but he would also be able to improve. Boom! Demonic light surged around the demon god king as his eyes were filled with cold killing intent. Mysterious inscriptions appeared on his black scales, causing his body to radiate with a heavy and ancient pulse. Thousands of arms appeared behind him in an instant, and his aura also increased by several times in an instant. 1,000 arms demonic fist. As the demon god king roared, he instantly pounced towards Ling Xiao. Although he was heavily injured, he was still a demon god king, and a saint realm demon. Although he only had the battle strength of a great circle heavenly god, his physical strength was still very strong. The 1,000 arms demonic fist could be said to be his innate ability. He wasn't a pure Sky Devil race, but a descendant of the Sky Devil race and the high-level multi-armed Devil race. Therefore, he had inherited the multi-armed Devil race's innate divine ability, manifesting 1,000 arms at the same time. This was his true combat power. Good timing. Ling Xiao's eyes flashed, and his battle intent rose. Streams of golden blood surged, and he seemed to have turned into a golden god of war. He could feel a strong pressure from the demon god king in front of him, but it also aroused a strong battle intent in his heart. Boom! He punched out, and the power of the god of war filled his entire body. The god of war king fist was completely unleashed. A golden fist print blasted towards the demon god king, as if an ancient mountain had materialized in the void. Using the energy of the god of war to activate the divine battle king fist, and using the divine battle king fist to unleash the power of the immortal battle body. These three martial arts complemented each other, and formed a perfect balance on Ling Xiao's body. Crack! Ling Xiao's terrifying fist imprint exploded, as if it was going to completely suppress the demon god king. However, the 1,000 arms of the demonic god king threw out 1,000 punches at this moment. Each punch was like a black star, as if the entire world had turned into a dark starry sky. The terrifying fist imprint exploded, directly dispersing the demonic god king's punch. At the same time, the demon god king charged forward, rapidly approaching Ling Xiao. Afterwards, his fists rained down, constantly attacking Ling Xiao. As the saying goes, 2 fists are no match for 4 hands, but how could the demon god king only have 4 arms? Thousands of fist imprints smashed down in a dense, airtight formation. Moreover, they contained extremely terrifying power, as if they were going to completely smash Ling Xiao into smithereens. However, Ling Xiao's eyes were incomparably bright. An extremely mysterious aura seemed to flow around him. His fist imprints were ancient, but they actually drove the power of heaven and earth around him. Waves of mysterious laws flowed along his fist imprints, overflowing with an ancient aura. He constantly clashed with the demon god king, and at this moment, the speed of his punches was extremely fast. It was as if Ling Xiao had turned into a god of war with thousands of arms, and countless afterimages appeared in the void. Bang! 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 Every collision was like an avalanche. Ling Xiao completely unleashed the power of the immortal battle body, and the demon god king was also infuriated by Ling Xiao, using the innate ability of the 1,000 arms demonic fist. The battle between the two was extremely intense, and Fang Sheng, who was watching from the side, was dumbfounded. Junior brother Long's combat strength is really terrifying. I wonder who's stronger between him and senior brother Big Dipper? Fang Sheng swallowed his saliva, and his eyes were filled with shock. If it was before this battle, he would definitely say that Big Dipper was senior brother Big Dipper without hesitation. However, after seeing the battle between Ling Xiao and the demon god king, he was a little hesitant. After all, Ling Xiao was only in the early stages of the heavenly god realm, and he could actually fight against the demon god king. Once his cultivation reached the great circle of the heavenly god realm, wouldn't he surpass Big Dipper? Fang Sheng didn't dare to imagine it. Boom! Ling Xiao's arms hugged the void, and there seemed to be chaos flowing in front of him. It was as if heaven and earth were under his control, and in an instant, the thousands of fist imprints in front of him disappeared. Ling Xiao's eyes were filled with divine light, and then he suddenly pushed out. A wave of divine power exploded. Even the demon god king couldn't react to this terrifying power, and was actually hit in the chest. Boom! A black bloody hole appeared in his chest, and he was sent flying for thousands of feet, smashing into a barren mountain in the distance. Fang Sheng and the other 2 students from Aries College were stunned. They seemed to be evenly matched just now, so how did Ling Xiao send the demon god king flying with one strike? Since when did Ling Xiao's combat power reach such a terrifying level? Ling Xiao stood in the air. His body was surrounded by rays of glazed light, and 5-colored light surrounded his body. His black hair fluttered in the wind, and his body glowed. His eyes seemed to contain the stars in the sky, and they were incomparably dazzling. He carefully comprehended the power of that punch just now, and he had a lot of understanding in his heart. Ling Xiao's punch just now could be considered the upgraded version of the Great Void Imperial Fist Sky Hammer. In order to hide his identity, Ling Xiao tried his best not to let others find out, so he couldn't even use the Great Void Imperial Fist. However, the Great Void Imperial Fist was too terrifying. In these few decades of cultivation, Ling Xiao combined the power of the immortal body and the sky hammer to comprehend a pure fist technique. That punch could be called the nameless fist technique, but the power that exploded in an instant was even more ferocious than the sky hammer. After all, the sky hammer was the peerless sky emperor's peerless fist technique that controlled the laws of heaven and earth to suppress all. With Ling Xiao's current cultivation level, he naturally couldn't use it. However, Ling Xiao used a trick. He used his terrifying physical strength to trigger the laws of heaven and earth to form this punch, and then instantly exploded with several times the power, making this punch incomparably terrifying. At this moment, even the Talisman King who cultivated the Great Void Imperial Fist wouldn't be able to recognize that this was the sky hammer in front of Ling Xiao. The power of this attack was incomparably terrifying, so it directly sent the Demon God King flying. Boom. Chapter 1350. Despicable human, I'm going to kill you. The Demon God King's eyes were filled with cold killing intent. He was furious to the extreme. Previously, the 3 Demon God Kings were besieged by the Demon God Kings of the 5 great academies. 2 Demon God Kings died in battle, and he had to pay a huge price to escape. He even killed many humans and devoured their blood essence to stabilize his injuries. But this punch of Ling Xiao's actually made his injuries show signs of worsening. If this continued, he would probably become weaker and weaker. In the end, he might really die in Ling Xiao's hands. He had to end the battle quickly and finish off this human brat in front of him. Just you? Demon scum, you will die today without a doubt. Ling Xiao sneered. His eyes were filled with cold killing intent. He could sense that the Demon God King in front of him was surrounded by resentment. Although it was very weak, Ling Xiao could sense that it was resentment left behind by human powerhouses after they died. If the Demon God King was at his peak, this bit of resentment would naturally be nothing. However, he was currently heavily injured and had no way of dispelling this resentment. Ling Xiao could sense that the resentment around the Demon God King was extremely strong. It meant that many human powerhouses had probably died in his hands recently. No matter what, this Demon God King had to die without a doubt. Die. The Demon God King's eyes were cold. His killing intent was almost tangible. An extremely terrifying aura instantly erupted from his body. Boom. Like a muffled thunderclap, demonic chi surged. The black scales around his body actually floated up at this moment. The black runes on them intertwined as demonic chi surged, forming a huge black net. 1000 Demon Attraction. The Demon God King began to go all out. With a roar, the huge black net came crashing down on Ling Xiao. The 1000 Devil Guide was the foundation of the Demon God King. According to legend, it was a flawless saint art that pointed directly to the Supreme Saint path. It used one's own demonic energy to trigger the laws of heaven and earth, forming a net of 1000 Devil Guide. All living beings that were enveloped by the 1000 Devil Guide would have their vitality devoured and assimilated into mindless demonic puppets. The Demon God King had once traversed the Fiend God space with the 1000 Devil Guide secret technique, killing countless human powerhouses. He had even killed a powerful God King. Originally, in his current state, he would not have been able to use the 1000 Demon Attraction. However, this human brat in front of him was too evil, causing him to be incomparably fearful. Therefore, even if he had to suffer heavy injuries, he had to use the 1000 Demon Attraction to completely destroy Ling Xiao. As long as he killed Ling Xiao, he would be able to use the 1000 Devil Attraction to devour all of Ling Xiao's energy and recover all of the backlash he had suffered. A strange look appeared in Ling Xiao's eyes. He actually discovered that the so-called 1000 Devil Attraction was extremely similar to the power of the world-etching bug. It could even be said that they were exactly the same. It was the same way of devouring vitality and assimilating demonic puppets. If it were any other saint technique, perhaps Ling Xiao would be a little apprehensive. However, since the Demon God King had used a secret technique like the 1000 Demon Attraction, it could only be said that he was courting death. Rumble. A huge net of black demonic light enveloped the sky. Streaks of black light interweaved, and many mysterious runes appeared from within. Every rune had the image of a demon god above it. The surroundings were filled with ghostly wails and howls. It was like an infernal hell. It was incomparably terrifying. "It's over." Feng Sheng and the two disciples of the war god Hall revealed a trace of despair in their eyes. In front of the Thousand Devil Attraction secret technique, the two of them did not have the slightest ability to resist. They could not even stand up. Feng Sheng suddenly glanced at Ling Xiao. Ling Xiao's gaze was calm and indifferent. For some reason, a trace of hope appeared in Feng Sheng's heart. Perhaps this junior brother Long could create a miracle? When the huge net of Thousand Devil Attraction enveloped Ling Xiao, he was still very calm. It was as if he had accepted his fate and did not resist at all. A trace of cruel killing intent appeared in the demon god king's eyes. Was he finally going to kill another genius of the human race? What he loved the most was the thrill of killing human geniuses. Rumble. But suddenly, the world seemed to stop at this moment. A resplendent light erupted from Ling Xiao's body. It was ancient, vast, mysterious, holy and pure. It was like the most primordial light of creation, illuminating billions of lives, illuminating the endless darkness. It was eternal and indestructible, and there were countless heroes. Within that dazzling radiance, there was an incomparably terrifying, devouring power. It was so vast that even the gigantic net formed by the Thousand Demon Attraction started to crumble in an instant. The vast demonic energy melted like ice and snow. In the endless light, Ling Xiao's expression was calm and indifferent. His aura was vast and unparalleled. He was like an immortal celestial emperor, suppressing the world and eternally indestructible. That was the power of the heaven-devouring secret technique. However, Ling Xiao had wrapped it in his heart realm and concealed the mysterious aura. Even the demon god king did not know what method Ling Xiao was using at this moment. He was completely stunned. What? How could you possibly break the Thousand Devil Attraction? The demon god king's eyes were filled with disbelief. He even became extremely frightened at this moment. It was as if some kind of power was beyond his control. He felt a power from Ling Xiao that made his scalp tingle and his heart panic. Adjudication. Ling Xiao spat out a few words indifferently. He slowly raised his arm, and then instantly slashed down. Boom. A snow-white blade light was born in Ling Xiao's palm. It was ancient and mysterious, containing a mysterious and vast fluctuation of laws. It suddenly slashed down at the demon god king. 7 styles of adjudication. Although the progress of this martial art was slow, Ling Xiao had cultivated it to the realm of great success. At this moment, it was even combined with Ling Xiao's killing intent to erupt with an incomparably terrifying power. With the Thousand Devil Attraction broken, the demon god king was in a panic, and even suffered the backlash of this secret technique. However, Ling Xiao did not give him any time to react. The resplendent blade light slashed down like the Milky Way descending from the 9 heavens. It was extremely gorgeous. Puff. The demon god king was directly split into 2 halves from head to toe by Ling Xiao's blade. At the same time, an incomparably terrifying power erupted from Ling Xiao's body. Like a divine chain of order, it instantly entangled the demon god king's primordial spirit, and then devoured it. An incomparably powerful demon god king was cleanly killed by Ling Xiao just like that. Black blood splattered everywhere. The corpse was in a tragic state. The void was filled with a thick smell of blood. Feng Sheng and the 2 disciples of the war god temple opened their mouths in shock. They were completely stunned. Chapter 1351. Before Feng Sheng and the 2 Aries College disciples could react, Ling Xiao had already started searching the demonic god king's body for spoils of war. But to Ling Xiao's disappointment, this demonic god king was practically a pauper. Other than a magic crystal, there was nothing else. Ling Xiao guessed that this guy was probably too heavily injured, and basically used all the precious treasures to heal himself. But this magic crystal could be exchanged for 10,000 contribution points, which was better than nothing. Senior Feng, why are you here? Ling Xiao kept the magic crystal, then walked over to Feng Sheng and smiled faintly. Speaking of which, Ling Xiao had a good impression of this Feng Sheng. Although his talent was not the best, his martial arts heart was firm, and he had great perseverance. To be able to use 60 years to perfect his foundation, and even not hesitate to delay his cultivation. This kind of talent was much stronger than those who were extremely talented but weak in temperament. Ling Xiao wanted to enter the War God Temple in the future, and needed such a team. Junior Long, I can't thank you enough. In the future, if there's anything you need me for, I won't hesitate to do. Fang Sheng said sincerely as he cupped his fists towards Ling Xiao. The two students from Aries College also thanked Ling Xiao. We're all from the same sect, no need to be so polite. What happened in the past 2 years? Ling Xiao waved his hand and asked curiously. He had been in seclusion for 2 years, but looking at this demonic god king, many things must have happened in the god and devil space. Junior Long, we also came to the god and devil space to train. Where have you been in the past 2 years? We almost thought that you had died in the hands of the demon race. Many things have happened in the god and devil space in the past 2 years. The human race and the demon race have gone through several wars. Fang Sheng slowly explained to Ling Xiao. With Fang Sheng's explanation, Ling Xiao understood what had happened in the god and devil space in the past 2 years. Speaking of which, the source was the battle in the Sky Devil Valley 2 years ago. Boji was heavily injured, and the 2 great demon gods were killed, which caused the demon world to be furious. In the past 2 years, the war between the human race and the demon race was very intense, and most of it was concentrated near the ancient city. So many disciples of the 5 major colleges entered the god and devil space to train. Although the human race and the devil race both suffered losses, but in this experience, the strength of the disciples of the 5 great academies increased rapidly. This time, Fang Sheng had brought a few of his junior brothers here to gain experience. Who would have thought that they would be so unlucky as to encounter this demon god king? His junior brothers were killed by him. Fang Sheng and the other 2 fled for their lives. If they had not met Ling Xiao, they would have died at the hands of this demon god king. After he finished speaking, Fang Sheng looked around vigilantly and said, Junior brother Long, let's hurry back to Ancient City. The battle just now was too intense. Perhaps the devil race has already discovered us. Oh right, take this demon god king's corpse with you. You can go to the ancient city of Extreme City to receive your reward. Good. We're leaving now. What do you mean by receiving rewards? Ling Xiao put away the demon god king's corpse, then sped in the direction of the ancient city of Extreme City with Fang Sheng and the other 2. Hearing about receiving rewards, Ling Xiao asked rather curiously. Fang Sheng explained as he hurried along. 2 years ago, this demon god king became a fish that escaped the net. During this period of time, he even killed quite a few human race powerhouses. Therefore, the 5 great academies issued a bounty in the ancient city of Extreme City. Anyone who kills this demon god king can obtain 100 drops of holy liquid as a reward. 100 drops of holy liquid? Ling Xiao's eyes lit up. This demon god king was indeed very valuable. Did not expect that the 5 great academies would give out 100 drops of holy liquid right off the bat. Indeed rich and imposing. 100 drops of holy liquid was probably sufficient for a grand completion celestial deity realm powerhouse to assail the divine king realm. With these 100 drops of holy liquid, it could at least let Ling Xiao advance another minor realm. This was indeed a pleasant surprise. Ling Xiao 3 people had just left not long when several figures swept over through the air, appearing at the place where Ling Xiao and the demon god king fought. Those were 3 young men dressed in dark cyan long robes. Each and every one of them had robust figures, powerful auras, and incomparably cold gazes. They were all late-stage celestial deity realm powerhouses. Furthermore, these 3 people were all Great Zhou Academy's disciples. This is the demon god king's aura? Could it be that someone killed the demon god king just now? Should be right. Someone killed the demon god king, and even brought his corpse away. Looks like someone wants to take the demon god king's corpse to claim the reward. Then what do we do? Could it be that we give up just like this? That's 100 drops of holy liquid. I heard that demon god king was heavily injured and his forces are very weak now. Maybe someone took advantage of it. Let's chase after and take a look. If it's really someone with powerful cultivation, then we can only forget it. If the forces are very weak, then snatch the demon god king's corpse and we'll go claim the reward. Good idea. It's decided then, hurry up and go. The three Great Zhou Academy's disciples converse with each other for a while, their eyes all revealing incomparably greedy looks. That was 100 drops of holy liquid. Even if it was divided equally among the three of them, it would be enough to push their cultivation to the great circle of the heavenly god realm. In the end, greed won over rationality. They followed the few auras and quickly chased after them. Although Ling Xiao and the other two were also flying towards the ancient city, their speed was not fast because Fang Sheng and the other two Ares Academy's disciples were injured. Ling Xiao's eyes flashed sharply. He heard three air-piercing sounds coming from behind him. Swoosh, swoosh, swoosh. Three youths in dark green robes with powerful auras and arrogant expressions instantly chased after them and blocked Ling Xiao and the other two. Ares Academy's disciples? You guys killed the demon god king? The Great Zhou Academy's disciple, who was the leader, looked at Ling Xiao and the other three indifferently with a strange look in his eyes. He could tell that among Ling Xiao and the other three, Fang Sheng's cultivation was the strongest, but he was only in the mid-stage of the heavenly god realm. The other three, including Ling Xiao, were all in the early stage of the heavenly god realm, and three of them were injured. Based on the bloodstains and auras on Ling Xiao and the other three, he instantly deduced that the demon god king's corpse was most likely with them. Senior brother, why are you blocking our way? Fang Sheng looked at the three people in front of him calmly and asked, I'm not going to waste my breath with you. Hand over the demon god king's corpse and we'll leave immediately. Otherwise, I'm afraid you guys will suffer a little. The Great Zhou Academy's disciple said coldly with a condescending attitude. In their opinion, the three Ares Academy's disciples before them did not have high cultivation levels, and were all injured. They did not have the ability to kill the real demon god king. The demon god king's injuries were probably too severe, and they took advantage of the situation. You're tuning in to the Li Mei's Wuxia Whispers YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.